Oh, I didn't consider those.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, so
They'd be
42.
All right, so then I'm going to go with 49.
Okay. Sticking to the same?
37. Fuck it.
All right. The body count is 69 humans.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 97 of Preachin on Preacher at the Movies. This week we'll be discussing the 1987 film Predator, and in part 2 discussing what?
Was that a question?
We're discussing Predator? I wasn't sure of the year. Anyway, in part 2 we will be discussing whether we think the action movie genre is dead.
Ken, put a question mark on the end of Predator, will you?
87.
I'm Michael Ormond.
I'm in Ralph.
I'm Joe Lennon.
Am I Ken?
That might be my favourite intro ever.
Title of your autobiography.
Am I Ken?
Am I
Ken?
Yeah.
How was your week, gentlemen?
2 weeks. Tweaks.
Okay, a week and a half.
Last week in work was dead as fuck.
Jesus, no, don't be swinging on that chair.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're delicate, they're antiques.
Yeah, and plus he's out of shot.
Oh, sorry, right. So,
Can we all do that? I'll just start to slowly slide down.
Bye.
This is awful.
It is.
Imagine you just see a pair of legs in the
listening
shot.
to the audio, they're just like, what the fuck?
What are they doing? Oh, sorry.
There's a video of this
Aiden,
shit.
you were going to say, how was your week?
Yeah, last week in work was dead as fuck. This week is back to normal. Them's were my weeks.
I had
Right.
the end of 3 weeks off.
Yeah, you sap.
Ended on
You
Monday.
had 3 weeks off over Christmas.
I was
That's what
off.
happens when he's Tim Cooks, mate.
I was off from the 21st
yeah,
of
I'm gonna need an
December.
extra
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I was off from the 21st of December and I went back on Monday. And it was glorious.
I fucking hate you so
But
much.
I've forgotten how to do my job.
How was that January blues?
Yeah,
Oh.
I've stopped. I'm doing dry January, which isn't as difficult as you might possibly
Nobody wants
imagine
to
it.
drink in
For
January.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has to be hard.
No, but it's actually grand. And ordinarily, I've had maybe a beer or two
Then it's not dry
every day in December and most of November, probably a bit of October too. So I thought this is gonna be a bit tricky. But then normally what happens is if I get say a 12-pack of piss from Aldi,
Sir
Is that
Galahad.
Excalibur or Galahad?
Galahad. If I get a 12-pack of
Sir Galahad.
the cans of Sir Galahad. If I get a 12-pack of piss from Aldi, I might if I have 3 or 4 cans tonight, I will keep tipping away at those until they're done. But and at home there's
on the one night.
not on the one night, no, over a couple of nights. But I'd still have cans and Captain Morgan's and stuff at home, and it's yeah, that's fine. I can stay there till February. It's fine. It's when you decide to not bother your bollocks drinking, it's actually all right. It's fine.
I find it really easy when I know I can't.
Yeah, you
I
still
find it
can't,
easy
right?
when I
'Cause
don't.
you could, and now you can't again.
I thought I could. But
I'm sorry. I know I
You're saying
shouldn't
you
laugh.
can't.
I was
Is this
I thought
turning
I-
into a sex tape? Or?
No, but you
No,
can't get
I
drunk
could,
or
but I
something. You were
couldn't.
I got
saying.
wonky old thyroid turned
Yeah.
into Graves' disease, which then I got cleared of that. And then I was like, okay, cool, I can drink again because I don't have the tablets that made me not be able to drink for 18 months.
Yeah.
But the stomach it kind of reacts the exact same way as if I'm on the tablets.
Really?
So I just can't take them. I could have one drink, but about 45 minutes later, I'd be like, I think I need to lie down.
That's mad.
It just doesn't mix well.
You know what you need to do now? Move
Sober
on to the
Jet?
fucking hardcore drugs.
Yeah,
Methamphetamines.
No, just go in the bag. Just a bit of coke. That'll do.
and
Strap
that
up the arm.
means I probably only had about 3 drinks in 2018. Maybe.
Yeah, that's mad.
Maybe.
So have you gone to the doctor since to say
No, I'm gonna go a couple of weeks to get blood tests anyway.
Yeah, just to see what the story is.
What is causing that afterwards?
Mhm.
just go in the bag and say be fine.
It's not the end of the world if I can't drink.
Just sniff your life away.
Just bag
I've
it
done
up.
pretty well for the last 2 years. I probably have less than 10
Christ.
drinks in 2 years.
Yeah, that's
It's weird being on nights out or around.
that's why you're not fun anymore.
Exactly. That is exactly why I'm not fun anymore. Joe doesn't drink anymore.
No,
Did it
just-
coin-
If
The
you weren't
Cohen-
fun,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I'd be doing a podcast.
It
with you.
coincided when he joined the podcast. That's why the podcast went downhill after he joined.
I said the exact.
Used to drink.
I said the
And
then
exact
Yeah.
opposite many
You're,
times.
that's the worst thing. Is
Yeah.
like you were better on the drink.
That's why we asked him to...
They hired you when you were an alcoholic.
He sobered up. Turns out he's no fun.
Joe used to get through a bottle of Jack every night.
It's like-
It was like,
Ugh.
Right, good
Not
night,
anymore.
ridiculously dull Bobby. Like, we'll all be going to the doctor with you. I was like, Doc, you got to get him back in the sauce. This is detrimental to
We
our
have a podcast to save.
Yeah. I mean, it's not listened to by tens of people, but even still, this is...
100 episodes. The bottle who saved Christmas. Or Joe.
just me
Yeah.
downing a bottle of Jack for the whole thing, and then
Yeah.
just fucking dying on the floor for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Preachin that saved the podcast.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Change the podcast name to Joey on Jack or something. Lennon on Jack.
That'll work.
But yeah.
So that was your week. Mick?
That was my, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I
very
was off.
uneventful, yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I
Look-
forgot.
look-
Never
looking
mind.
after my
Never
son.
mind.
Yeah.
Spending time. I have a son, yeah.
Fuck up.
Christ.
I haven't been able to say that in a very long time.
It's been a week
so.
since we said that, hasn't it? Yeah.
And trying to brush up on my driving skills for my upcoming driving exam.
What date is that again?
yes.
End of January.
I can start getting drunk during the week again because you can drive me to work. It's going to be great.
That's the best advantage. I was like, I can start drinking on the Monday again.
Yeah, fingers
It's like, oh, I'm the alcoholic. You're thinking of your future Monday and Tuesday drinks, and
Finish-
I'm the
On
alcoholic.
Wednesday.
Finishing off the
and
last of-
Thursday.
That's why I arranged it for then, because it'll be finished dry January. I'll have, hopefully, touch wood, pass my test. I'm like, all right, Aidan, you're finished dry January. I'm taking you out to celebrate.
Yeah.
Just get him fucking pissed, and he's in the
Yeah.
back of the car. Whoa!
Mashed on Mondays,
Yeah.
trashed on Tuesdays, wasted on Wednesdays,
Trashed on Thursdays.
Tit wanked on
Fucked on
Thursdays.
Fridays.
Yeah.
fucked on Fridays,
Oh, it'd be so amazing.
sloshed on Saturday.
Oh, if he's finishing
Salty on Sundays.
finishing the rest of the bag of cans on Tuesday morning as I'm going. Hey, Mick.
Looking like an absolute scaldy bastard. Just like,
Just getting into the car. How was your evening? Yeah, all right there, pal.
I'm anxious about it because
so
I've heard a
good.
lot of people fail first time.
I
You
failed the
just-
first 2 times,
Yeah.
but I
Try
don't.
get
Like,
it early in the morning.
I had,
They have a quota to me.
Okay.
Trust me, that's a fact.
you think so?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I do the facts.
Well-
I like that.
That's number 9.
See, he's still fun. He's still fun.
Sneaky naggins under the table.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. Like I'll have like the
Let me
remnants
see
of a
when they
bag of
look at
cans.
each
And,
other.
have the remnants of a bag of cans in one hand on Tuesday mornings, and like Alka-Seltzer in the other hand,
I'll make sure
or
I'll
fizzy good, if
keep
you
an
like.
Aiden stash in the boot of my car for just such circumstances.
You are the best friend.
Mhm.
I put the ice cooler in the
Glove
back of the car.
box.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
Although
Put it
there,
into a cooler.
you'll think
Yeah.
it's an earthquake when I'm shaking trying to go on the motorway for the first time. It's like, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
doing?
But that's actually the come down from the bag.
Mick, could you please slow down?
We're not moving.
Puke out the
Oh, God.
window. Jesus, be a man about it.
Ken. Yeah, Ken. How
Well,
was
How
your...
about you? How was yours?
Well, what?
How do you eat yours?
Your-
Your cream eggs.
Oh,
Hey.
they're alright. There's white ones now.
Is there?
And you earn loads of money.
Get
I
up
tell
to
you
10
how,
grand.
you
Are there
don't
white
eat
cream eggs?
you don't eat cream eggs because they're the worst chocolate ever made.
Says
No,
the
you just
man
look
who
at the
fucking
ingredients
eats
on the
those
back.
fucking ultraviolet shit.
I can.
You
I
can't
can
talk
so-
to me about sweets.
Well, so ultraviolet sweets are just mediocre, but like I think cream eggs
Ultraviolet sweets are like gorgeous, and they're absolutely not potpourri.
Why don't you marry them?
are. Go eat some flowers.
Go it is like eating flowers.
It is
You
your
might as
secret
well.
shame, except you're not really secretive about it.
Or shamed.
I can sum up cream eggs in one sentence.
Disgusting.
Gorgeous chocolate ruined by goo. That's exactly what they are.
Oh fuck no! I love cream eggs.
Ah.
Love cream eggs.
Are there white ones though? Are you serious with that?
Oh,
yeah,
there's
they're
a
new this
competition.
year.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
they done it last year as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
okay.
can win up to like 10 grand.
I love white
supposedly.
chocolate. So.
I'm not fucking
Yeah, same.
advertising cream eggs right now. I don't give a shit.
Um,
But anyway, yeah, since the last time we talked, we had our friendly meetup.
yeah.
Our
Yeah.
New Year's, bring whatever the fuck you want.
Oh.
and
Oh, that was
eat it
good. Yeah.
With the Chris
We
Kringle.
podcasted after that.
Did
Nobody
Yeah.
poisoned anybody.
Yeah,
Did
we
Did we talk about
podcasted.
that?
Yeah, because we
Oh,
podcasted
shit, okay.
like the Sunday after that happened.
Whoopsie.
Sunday before it.
What?
No.
Well, anyway,
We
look.
podcasted the 30th.
Well,
last
this is
time.
the first week the Christmas decorations are down, so
Yes.
shut up.
So shut your whore mouth.
Looks so shit in here.
Anything else significant happening to you in the last? Oh, do you guys? No.
Yeah, I think that's
I
all
woke
right.
up.
I woke up.
1987's Predator.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I watched Predator between the last
yeah.
time we met and now.
Well, I watched a film called Predator.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of it.
I'd seen it. Joe had seen it.
Oh yeah.
Ken had seen it.
Mission.
Aiden had not. So
I
this
think-
is
Loser.
I think that I think the whole purpose of doing the
harsh,
film
but
was.
okay.
I think all you guys made an executive decision. Like
Yeah.
you need to see Predator. We're watching that then. I was like,
I think
alright.
you'd said you'd rarely seen any Arnie films. It was
I'd seen a few.
you gotta
Yeah,
you
hadn't
gotta
seen this.
see
Hadn't
it.
seen Commando either. Still.
Yeah, Commando has to be seen. That's a
Yeah.
great
I've
film.
seen your Commando.
Oh, you have.
Yeah,
That's right.
actually, yeah.
You've seen my dog.
I will.
So
I
have I.
will.
Yeah, it's true. Do
I will say
you want to see my dick?
on the way home.
Have you
Oh,
seen
yeah.
this thing?
No.
Have you not? What do you mean? No, as if like you have.
No,
it's
what?
like
It's
why
a
would I?
masterpiece.
Because he
I've
gets it
seen
out
it.
quite a lot.
These two have seen it.
Masterpiece. It looks like the Van Gogh paintings when they went downhill.
I'll say
When he-
Picasso.
I'm sorry, I wasn't fully erect. It'll be uphill the next time you see it.
It's like a Van
More
Gogh
like
chopped off his
Flatland.
udder.
You're getting old, Aiden.
Right up in your
Um,
mouth.
But anyway,
Sorry, go on,
Arnie.
mate.
It had been.
Mouth.
I was just thinking after I watched it last night. It had actually been a while.
It's been a while
since I'd
since I watched him Predator.
since I'd
Wasn't
actually
expecting
seen it,
Yeah.
and I forgot how much of the how do I phrase it?
You forgot your sentence.
I'd
didn't
forgotten that
realise-
Carl Weathers
no,
was in it.
I didn't realize how much of the film I had forgotten in between.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last time I
Certain
watched
parts.
it and now,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remembered the general
Yeah.
story of it and exactly how it starts and ends.
I completely
The
forgot
middle
how
was
creepy
like-
guy the Indian Navajo type
Mhm.
guy was. Completely forgot how fucked up he
I
was.
loved him.
Which guy?
Just staring
The
off into
tractor.
the trees.
Yeah.
That was a great fucking scene, though.
Oh,
Which
it was.
I can't remember.
It's the fear in him.
What
Like,
the fuck's he staring
It's
at?
a stereotype team. Like right from the beginning, you've
Yeah,
got
you've
like
got-
the Indian, the black guy, the nerd, the Joker, and the tough guy.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
straight
yeah,
off
yeah.
the bat.
It's the A
like,
team,
cool.
just with extra members.
The A+ team.
The A team and the B team actually, as it happens.
Because I said it to Ken when it started. I was like, Star Wars? Just the way
Yeah.
it starts. I forgot about the ship at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Reminded me of the opening of The Thing.
What thing?
Which is
Ooh.
The thing.
just
yeah,
the
maybe
thing.
a little bit.
What
Yeah.
thing?
The Thing.
The thing. Oh,
Yeah,
the thing with the yoke.
thing with the yoke,
Mm.
yeah. Because it's literally just opens on a completely innocuous title screen, and then you have a spaceship crash land onto the planet, exactly like the opening of The Thing, and I completely forgotten about that. And then it just obviously jumps into Arnie's team being choppered to the base before they go on mission.
Dylan!
You son of a bitch.
When that part happened, I was like, "Why does Joe quote that every day? That's not that good a line."
It's good, isn't it?
No, but like, I was just like, "Why is he quoting it every day, though?"
The gift that was
that kinda-
brought
it's
out
like,
of when
yeah.
it
what's wrong?
happens and the world explodes.
CIA got you pushing too many pencils. It's a fucking great line.
Yeah.
Just two absolute major action kind of muscly guys. You have this like.
Is
But when
Carl
you-
Weathers a major action muscly guy?
He
No.
put on a ridiculous amount of fucking muscle.
Yeah, but when you
Like-
look at him in the start,
He's a boxer.
in
Oh,
that
he
shirt,
looks-
he
yeah.
just looks like a normal bloke. But when you see him in the middle of the forest, shredded to fuck, I seen him
Apollo Creed,
breathe.
man.
I seen him breathe
Apollo
at
Creed,
one
wasn't it?
stage,
Yeah.
and like the abs looked like they were gonna eat the forest.
What? Predator's not going to destroy the forest. This guy is.
Yeah.
So, Aidan, what was your first kind of impressions of it? Because obviously, as the only person coming in, like, not blind
Fresh.
to it, you know what a Predator is, but
Yeah.
like fresh to it. What did you think?
Yeah, I was.
Can you believe
I guess
the hype behind the
What?
story?
Yeah, like how did
What
it?
story?
How did
It's
it?
You know,
quite
it's
thin,
it's
but
quite
it's-
paper thin, but yeah, like I mean, it doesn't need to be a.
What were your?
fucking
I guess
epic
what
tale,
were
does
your
it?
expectations going in?
My expectations. I'll tell you one thing I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the see-through thing with the Predator for much of the. Like I was expecting. Maybe I'd read it, but or maybe I was just expecting it anyway. Maybe we talked about it. I don't know.
Okay,
But the whole thing of not really seeing the Predator properly for
until
ages.
like
53 minutes.
the last bit of the film, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
until almost
They
the third
followed
act.
like the alien
Yeah.
rule
Mhm.
of
yeah, and the Jaws rule as
53,
well.
53 minutes of an hour and 41 minute without the
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's a big leap, and the same
Yeah.
thing happened with it. And I'm glad you brought that up, because
Yeah.
that's just something that I really liked about it.
I
That's
think
that
is-
says
You don't
pretty
see
well.
his full
The
body.
like
Well,
the
I think
effect
if you
on
were to see him at the start of the movie, it just
Yeah.
would have ruined the whole shock
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
this
yeah.
yoke.
Yeah.
But that's
That's why no
that's
one's afraid of the aliens anymore. It's because they threw 50 of them on screen and said, "Here, have a look at them."
Yeah.
It just wasn't scary.
look at these. Ooh.
I've seen loads of them.
I still haven't seen the sequels to Alien, but yeah, no, like it's. I will say like the see-through sort of effect on the Predator up until 53 minutes in, it's aged pretty fucking well, hasn't it?
Yep.
It still looks really good.
The
I think.
first time we
It's
copied
because
the
of the way
first
they
time you watched the
filmed it.
CGI of it, it looked like an optical illusion through
Yeah.
a tiny little kid's toy.
I would
Yeah.
say when the Predator isn't moving very much, it holds up well.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes where the Predator is like leaping between trees, and I'd forgotten how agile they had made Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of those, I don't think hold up as well because
No.
it looks real weird. Where there's
Yeah.
this
It's
kind of
his
shimmer.
body isn't moving the right angle
Exactly,
for
yeah.
I really like the heat-seeking thing, like his vision, I like his point of view, all that stuff. I really liked.
There's
Where
a
you
very
see more
good.
of the view. Sorry, Mick. You see more of his thermal vision than you do
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like
more
that.
fear to him.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think what really worked well with that, and this isn't one of my facts, but I put it down as a little asterisk to if it was the invisibility cloaking effect. It was done in such a weird way. When I was trying to find something of how they filmed
Potter
it.
cloaking effect
Yeah.
was better than that.
So the way they had done it, so the effect was achieved by a bright red suit was worn
Okay.
due to the fact that it was the farthest opposite of the green in the jungle and the
Yep.
blue of the sky. So the size of the Predator. The red was removed in the chroma key techniques, leaving an empty area. The take was then repeated without the actors using a 30% wider lens on the camera.
Oh, okay.
When the two takes were combined optically, the jungle from the second take filled in the empty area. Because the second take was filmed with a wider lens, a vague outline of the alien could be seen in the background. So
If I was ours, I could
Like-
do it, which is right now.
it's so cool. It's such a cool little thing. So
Definitely
it wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
fully, just all CGI of like,
Yeah.
let's do a thing here. It was literally,
It's like a practical camera effect.
yeah.
In
That's
essence.
there you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
That's
smart
actually explains it.
filmography.
Smart filmography. Okay, there we go.
I really like the
That's
fact
not
that
the technical term.
this is hopefully one of your facts, Joe.
The eyes
Just-
glowing. Also, I love that effect on it.
Yeah, I really love the fact that
It's a taunt.
there was I'm going from Wikipedia.
Go on.
Following the release of Rocky IV, a joke circulated in Hollywood that since Rocky Balboa had run out of earthly opponents,
I think
he'd have
so.
to fight an alien in a fifth film if it were to be made. And screenwriters Jim and John Thomas were like, that's not a bad idea. And that's how the Predator came to be. They wrote a
Jesus.
screenplay based on a joke.
I
was
had
nothing
that,
in
but I
Hollywood.
removed it because I didn't think it was that.
Ah, sure you did.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought it was
I
fascinating.
thought it would come up in
Look around
in
pretending
discussion,
like you had
yeah.
facts. That one fact was better than his 10.
Probably put
You'll
together.
see.
Yeah.
I'll see. You'll see.
No, you'll see.
I'll listen to Love
Yeah.
Sounds in the backseat.
I think
Yeah.
the introduction of the team. I know we were saying it there, little thing. It was so subtle. Yeah, like in the helicopter, you have that lovely.
That went on a
little-
bit too long, I thought.
Little bit,
Yeah.
but there was a great back and forth, and even like the
Yeah.
nerd where you see him just reading away. I'm calling him the nerd, but he's probably not the nerd. It's just that
Yeah.
kind of
He's smaller than everybody else.
Was
Yeah.
that Shane Black's character?
No,
Yeah.
Shane Black
Was
is
it?
the Joker. Shane Black is the guy who tells the jokes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He like catching the thing on your man. And he's like that little nod of very nice
Yeah.
to the sexual tyrannosaurus that is Jesse the body
like me.
fucking Ventura.
Yeah.
It was
With
like
his bleeding
oh,
chewing tobacco. It looked
It's
like
funny,
he had
it's
a mouth
like-
of bubble gum.
He is nearly more quotable in this film than Arnie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're bleeding.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have time to duck?
One thing that, like, one
Can't believe that.
thing that I
Jesse the
thought was
body.
a bit hard to swallow was the whole, like, once Arnie's covered in mud, he can't see him. I thought that was a bit...
Mythbusters proved that correct.
Really?
It does work,
Yeah.
but for a very limited amount of time.
It would have been,
Like
he
30
would have had to.
seconds.
So break that down
Well,
for me. What's the
mud-
logic?
Well, the mud just-
coldness of the mud
yeah.
covers up your body heat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Right.
your body heat would heat up,
Up
that
the mud
in
eventually,
like 30
yeah.
seconds.
Right, okay.
So,
I
like,
get it, okay.
it's believable in the scene where he crawls out of the lake.
And he's under the
and,
tree.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
crawling through the mud, and then he's like, shit, and he can't be seen. But where he's preparing himself and covering himself in mud, it wouldn't work
It
because
wouldn't work.
Because
Yeah.
he missed half of his fucking body.
that.
Yeah,
And
I don't know, I just
30
thought-
no
seconds.
way that fucker with the size of him can wash his own back.
Mhm.
So he
He just lies down.
Yeah.
My arm's not long enough.
But then he's like a turtle and he wouldn't be able to get back up again.
Oh, no. I got
can't
turtle
get up.
syndrome.
This predator's going to get me. I'm on my back.
Yeah. Somebody flip me over.
Everybody's dead.
No, damn it. No, I just didn't. First, maybe it's because I'm an idiot. I just didn't get that. Like the whole muck. Like, why can't I see him now? That doesn't make sense.
Mud actually hides body temperature.
And it's just because
Yeah.
it's cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They use a very similar technique in... Have you ever seen Tremors 2?
I've seen Tremors 1. But not
The
a long
very
time.
end of Tremors 2.
I nuke the town.
Well, they
that
blow
not
up the town.
Oh,
It's where
okay,
it's like
yeah.
they set the explosives, and he tells the crazy guy how much explosives there are, and he starts running. It's like, this is gonna be big. Anyway,
And
completely
then the
different film.
guys are hiding behind the thing, and it's like not far enough. Not
Yeah.
far enough.
He just keeps running past.
Yeah, I
But they
remember that.
spray themselves with a fire extinguisher in that to cover their body heat, because Tremors also see in that second one by heat.
Also done
Rather
in
than
Mythbusters
vibration.
in the same
Yeah.
episode, and
Oh,
it literally 5 to 6 seconds. Like
Yeah.
it does not. It literally puts you dark as or cold as the ground,
Mhm.
but it's like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't last on
Yeah.
it at all.
The Mythbusters doing a service.
Yeah, they do. Like, and I love that episode because it's like
It's movie myth stuff, isn't
it's
it?
complete movie myths. And when they did the mud, I was like, Predator. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. It does work, but like
Yeah.
not for
But
long.
isn't that their, like... Again, we're getting slightly off topic, but the
Uh-huh.
Mythbusters, like, background was in special effects.
Yeah, they work
and-
for
Yeah.
ILM.
Yeah.
They were ILM.
I've never
for-
seen Mythbusters ever.
Oh fuck, man! It's,
Yeah.
You need
I think
to-
it went
There's a few
downhill in the
seasons.
later seasons, but those early original ones
yeah.
where they were working with actual myths
Yeah.
and not just making shit up to do weird tests
Yep.
were a lot better than what came later.
Their the first couple, like 5 seasons, are on Netflix. You should check them out. They're
Okay.
actually, it's
Yeah.
really worth it. I rewatched them randomly just
They're
during the year.
factual and funny.
Mhm. And it helps
Yes.
that the both presenters are actually quite like
Yeah.
personable and...
Except for
Intelligent,
Jamie.
like crazy
Yeah.
intelligent.
But I mean, they
He
play off
has-
each other very well.
Yeah, he has the humor of a brick.
The walrus they call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I must check that out at some point.
I actually didn't like the first invisible scene in this. I know you were saying think it held up well.
Yeah.
The first one was really good, and then I think it was I said it to Ken that
Yeah,
the
we
next
said it
2
when
or
it came
3
up.
were fucking deadly. I was
Yeah.
like, but the first one where you see it, I was like, what the fuck?
It was when it was
really
walking
bad.
off through the forest. It
Oh,
looked a lot better than the first
yeah.
one, just standing there, and it was like a prism effect on
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really bad.
But the rest of them seemed to just knock it out of the park after that, which was weird.
It
Like,
seemed
there's
mostly good to
One
me.
of them
but,
I
yeah.
love is where I know I don't want to skip too far ahead, but Carl Weathers is getting attacked by it, and he has the moment where he turns around and you see the Predator do like a beeline in a circle, and it's fucking deadly looking.
Yeah.
Like it's that could have came out awful, but yet it didn't.
Mhm.
So looking back on it, that scene was fucking class. Little slow motion Carl Weathers going around with his hand on the ground. So good.
My hand. I wasn't expecting. This is again jumping towards the end, so sorry, but I
We
wasn't.
usually jump back and forth.
Yeah,
It works.
I wasn't expecting him to take off his mask, and I thought he looked fucking
Oh,
great
fuck.
when he did. I didn't know he was going to take off the
Oh,
mask.
okay.
The mandibles.
So. Yeah, I thought he looked deadly. Much better than any of those shits in fucking Hellraiser, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he.
I think Hellraiser had a bigger budget as well, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, than Predator did.
God, that was muck.
I liked it.
There was good bits in it, but you know.
As all, like, Stan Winston did the creature
Yep.
effect, or the design in this,
Mm.
and Predator obviously has become this kind of, creature feature icon.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
Yeah,
like,
it holds up so well because the base creature design is obviously humanoid enough to do what the film needed, but then at the same time alien enough that
So-
it's genuinely disturbing. I would say, and this comes from one of the down negatives. Like, I was thinking to myself last night, I would really love to be able to go back and watch Predator again
Without knowing what happens.
with like no memory of it, because obviously you like going in knowing how that happens. A lot of the what they say surprise parts are kind of don't get you. So that first reveal of like his face when he takes off the mask, it's so good getting your opinion on that, because again, I probably saw Predator for the first time when I was 5 or 6, which I
God.
shouldn't have,
No,
because
definitely not.
it is not a film
But
that a 5 or 6-year-old should be watching.
Absolutely not.
It's that practical effect on a creature that you just don't get anywhere. Stan Winston has created some of the greatest. Like, if you look up his list, he's credited
I'm
for
doing it right now.
Gremlins. He's done.
Did we say
he
Alien
done
last
Alien as
night?
well. So he has
Yeah.
Alien and Predator
Yeah.
in his backlog. I think
Alien's
done
based on a design by someone named H.R. Giger, though, isn't it?
the Alien one, was it?
Yeah. I think
But did he not recreate the design?
he might have done the work
he
on it,
got
but I
an
think
idea of it,
inspiration
yeah.
came from like artwork by
Yeah.
Giger. But yeah, I would just love to be able to go back and see those or experience those moments again, because
Yeah.
obviously not knowing what you didn't know he took off his mask, you didn't know what the did
No, I
you
don't
had
think-
absolutely no idea what his face looked like
no,
before.
no clue. No, it's
Oh,
it's
Really? You
no,
never
it's
knew
in-
what a face actually looked like?
No. Or maybe I'm sure I'd seen it
Yeah.
at some point, but I
Yeah.
didn't know there was. I'd seen that iconic masked Predator with
Casey
the
Jones
dreads and
looking
stuff.
motherfucker.
anything good. Anything good in the last 40 years film seems to be Stan Winston. I know he
Yeah.
did the Jurassic Park dinosaurs as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He done Terminator.
It says nothing about Gremlins.
Like,
I'm just trying to
he's
find
just-
out.
he's
Iron
really
Man
good
was
with
his last
practical
one.
effects,
I think
like,
Iron Man
yeah.
was one of his last ones. He was asked
Yeah.
to do the suit for Iron Man.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's
Mhm.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just so
Oh,
many.
that's Stan Lee, Joe. Stan Lee.
And like to build it though,
Yeah.
is just phenomenal. And his list
Yeah.
of I don't think Jurassic Park would have been anywhere near as good if it hadn't got Stan Winston doing
Mhm.
pretty much anything and everything. Going, yeah, let's do a full size. Let's do it this way. Jesus, his list of ones is crazy.
Yeah.
We associate nearly every creature that we know from films to him, and that's fucking amazing to me. I love that. Just
Yes.
one person whose literal mind is, I think it should be like this. Because one of my facts, I'm not going to do that thing, but I will have to show you an image
Okay.
of the original design for the Predator.
Oh, okay.
And you're not gonna believe it. I can't wait. But yeah, let's get back onto thing. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be fun.
It's going to be wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Go on. Remember, this
Um,
is you haven't seen this one, so I'm really intrigued on certain parts of it, like the whole Boy Scout scene where they try to literally trap him.
Oh, try to lure. Yeah, I like that scene quite
Sorry,
a bit. Yeah.
supposedly Chris Wallace and Rick Baker designed and created the puppets for Gremlins and Gremlins 2.
Oh,
Ah, okay, I was trying to find
thought
out.
it was
Yeah,
Stan.
thank
Supposedly,
you for
now
that.
that's what I'm finding on
Oh.
gremlins.wikia page.
I
So.
thought it
yeah.
was him. Damn.
The official source of all things Gremlin.
Yeah, so Joe lost one of his facts.
That wasn't on mine.
Joe, we all know Joe just makes these up as he
I
goes
do,
along.
yeah.
Anyway,
I
so.
do.
To his credit, he also created the Wookiee costumes for the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special.
Fantastic.
Okay,
That's,
so he has done a lot of shit.
There are some missteps.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk about that. Like,
So the one thing that
Terminator. He created the Terminator. So
Yeah.
there's that as well.
like,
Yeah.
iconic design.
One thing
Yeah.
I completely forgotten about was the training. I'm gonna call it a training montage. I know that's not exactly what it is, but his preparation montage at the end when it's
Oh,
just
okay.
Arnie left,
Yeah.
and he's like preparing his base, making his spikes, building his bow and arrow out of nothing, and
Yeah.
it's like
that was
lifting-
we said it last night. That was just
Ridiculous,
the
but
money
great.
shot for the women.
Yeah.
Arnie flexing a bow over his shoulders and shredding the fuck up.
or
like.
lifting up the giant wooden log by himself
Oh yeah.
and bracing it with the tiniest of twigs.
We said it. We were like, that tiny little twig held that massive log.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hold my dick.
That's what I think I really love about this film. That whole third act is Arnie and the Predator, because
Yeah.
by the second act you've literally wiped out your cast.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, everyone dies, and in horrific ways, except for the
Yeah.
And
what's his name?
unbelievable ways.
The black guy who literally got his head blown off, but then you see his head back together on the ground. Did anyone notice that?
No.
when he
when-
was crawling
When Carl
under-
Weathers
Oh,
looks over
yeah.
at him,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
head
Yeah,
is
there's
fine.
the shot of his head like exploding from
Yeah.
behind
Mhm.
his head.
And it
then
goes all
there's-
over the camera, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a pan and zoom shot of going into his face,
Mhm.
lifeless on the ground, and it's like, where's the whole
Wait,
shot
what?
of the shot with?
The
The
in-
skin bodies, by the way. Just can we talk about that for a second?
That
That's
was-
Sexy as
yeah,
fuck.
so
fucking
you get
amazing.
the whole idea of behind what a predator is put onto Earth to do, right?
No.
Thing. It's a hunt. It's a
Okay.
trophy. It's a trophy game. You can see at the end he has the 4 or the 5 skulls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He cleans them, claims them, and
Puts
you
them
know,
on him.
And that's why
calls
when he
or
looks
calls
at,
home.
Yeah.
he-
I thought it was funny that there were there were a load of other skulls like attached around them, and they looked
Mhm.
like little animal skulls.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just people, but
yeah, but
obviously
he
the people
probably
were.
wants
Yeah.
it. It's probably the whole hunt for the largest, most
Mhm.
majestic skull.
They did it. So actually, if
And
you see
that's-
in, sorry, go on.
Sorry, no, that's what I was saying. When he scanned Arnie,
Yeah, it makes sense at the very end where he's holding him at the tree and he's like, "Yes, your skull will do."
yeah, and then he's like, "This one looks worthy for an actual fight."
And then
so let's drop my gear.
If you remember anything from the second one, there's a tiny scene where one of the humans finds his ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they go into it, and there's a trophy room of skulls.
And
You see a
one-
Tyrannosaurus
Yeah.
Rex. You see a
Jesus.
human skull.
You also see
all
an
thing-
alien skull.
You see an alien skull in the
No
corner.
way.
That scene alone sparked the Alien vs. Predator
Mhm.
comics,
Yeah.
which then sparked the film franchise.
Yeah.
I think they just
That
like
scene
snuck it in
alone.
there for the crack.
Oh, I'd say
it was a
like
fuck you.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
if there's some of the guys go, it was a fuck you because we were doing better
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
in our story.
I don't know why I dislike the very end of Predator 2.
I can't remember it. Honestly, can't remember the end of the second one.
Do you
Honestly.
mind spoilers for
Not
the
at all.
second
No,
one?
go ahead.
From what I remember, he walks on. Danny Glover obviously walks onto the ship.
Oh, there's respect or something.
Yeah,
between
and it's
them.
like all the predators walk out and they just let him leave afterwards.
Yeah, you see like the granddad of the like a chief,
Chief predator.
chief
Papa
predator.
predator.
Chief
It's
beef.
fucking it's terrifying looking.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like terrifying.
But they move. It's weird because they move more towards that as the Predator franchise moved on. Because
They respect humans.
Yeah, they respect the humans that like put
Warriors.
up a good fight and like are prepared to take them on
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not just cower or
And
whatever.
that's in
As-
AVP. You can see they defend humans more.
yeah.
The female lead in the AVP earns the scar.
Yeah.
He marks
He
her.
carves her
It's the
with-
warrior symbol.
Yeah.
He goes after she kills like 2 aliens, and
Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay, you know what?
deserve
Fuck,
this
you can
shit."
hold your
Yeah.
own." So, and they fight together. I was like,
And then he skull fucks her.
"Holy fuck!" He just skull fucked the shit out.
Oh, great
Yeah,
times.
that's what they
That's-
call it, skull fucking. He carves himself on her.
That's
Oh,
the
Jesus.
porno version of Predator.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which I am
predators.
100% sure they made.
They probably.
It's called
Yeah. Oh
Predator.
god,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Predator.
That's the gang version.
Predators.
Yeah.
Like, there's that thing of like, as we were saying, that whole third act. It's
Yeah.
nearly a completely different film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not to the same extent
Like,
from
And
Dusk Till
I
Dawn, but
think,
yeah.
am I wrong in saying it's all shot at night?
Pretty
the
much.
whole
Once
thing is
Arnie
when
reaches
himself,
the tree,
he's
yeah.
at night.
And
Yeah,
then
it
it's
would be,
daytime
yeah.
when he gets on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those endings to a film where you're just kind of like, holy shit, it's just Arnie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wow, he's fucked. You're imagining, like, I
did
think,
like-
Aiden, do you think he was fucked? Like, you thought the villain was going to win? Like, it just seemed the odds were just a million against him.
One thing I liked about another thing I liked about this film as well, like just I wasn't necessarily expecting everybody to die except Arnie, but like it keeps you guessing. Like that was one thing that was unpredictable about it. Certainly, like you don't know who's going to survive and who's not. I expected Arnie to survive because
He's Arnie.
It's
it's
Arnie.
fucking Arnie, but
Fair enough.
but yeah, I wasn't expecting everybody else to be fucked.
Yeah,
By the end.
I couldn't remember who survived at the end. I knew the girl
Really?
did. I remember the girl from when it first came on.
Oh, sorry, the girls, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kill the
and-
female off in the 80s.
Yeah,
that's a rule.
Sexist.
It was a
the
rule.
Womexon. I thought his mate survived, Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah,
he was
I thought
he was
Dylan
the
survived.
screw job. You know, it's the CIA screw job. Sold
Yeah.
his soul to the devil, and fucked them over.
Mm.
I was like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. Like,
Yeah.
stick around.
Yeah, it's good bands.
Classic. I wouldn't mind. There's some really, like, those moments are like Arnie at, like, doing his cheesy lines.
Yeah.
When you finish the film, you're like, geez, those lines are really crude when the rest of the film gets so dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we could actually. I think we should do a question of the week about his quotes.
no, Jesus
It's a
Christ.
wonderful
Mick,
idea,
what do you
yeah.
think? Should we?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah. We
Again.
could do that. We've never done that, right?
No, never. No.
Hey, everybody listening at home,
Yeah.
stick around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they didn't get involved the first time, so they might get involved the second time. You never know.
Oh.
Let's try it again. And
Yeah.
again and again. And again
and again. From different angles.
Also, there's one thing one thing that's become really fucking popular about the Predator series is definitely the parrot gun, which is no, the parrot gun on the Predator.
Oh, sorry, I thought
The
you
laser.
meant like
Those
the
three-
Indian bloke walking around with the big fucking.
Jesus,
stupid
size
machine.
fucking Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Fucking manic. That 3 laser dot has become really iconic in popular culture.
Yeah, I got one on my arm when I was a kid. It's mad. If you noticed that.
Yeah. The Predator gave me measles, mumps, and rubella.
Yeah.
What was it? Measles, mumps, and what?
He could have.
Rubella, yeah, you're right.
Rubella,
Well,
yeah.
it's either that or laser your whole fucking arm off.
Yeah,
I think you came out okay in the end.
yeah, exactly.
He only marked you. You're like Harry Potter in the Predator world.
Yeah, it's like, he
just
killed my
left you with a
parents.
scar.
Yeah,
The child who definitely lived.
yeah.
Is that a Harry Potter reference? I don't get.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
It's
it
a
is.
very
Me too.
basic Harry
It's
Potter
a
reference.
basic
Jesus
one.
Christ.
I know
Jesus
he's called the
Christ.
child who lived.
Yeah,
You're off.
the one that got away. That's what Voldy called him. He really romanticized the thing.
That's the way you call him, Baldy.
Yeah, I stole that from Kevin Smith. Anyway, sorry. Should we
Sorry.
go into the facts?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh,
Let's
facts.
do it.
I have to do this and then do this.
That's a fact.
Facts, Max.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Quite loud this week.
It was
Oh,
that
yeah.
loud
It's
I
louder.
could hear it.
Yeah.
Did you
Joe's
actually hear it?
headphones.
Well, it
Really?
was
Fucking hell.
low for about fucking 82 episodes, so it's just as
I
well.
sorry, I just want to jump on one thing we didn't mention during the thing. Shane Black, obviously in the film, directed the Predator reboot in something. I was hoping that would be one of your facts, but I don't know if it was.
I
thought we
think
mentioned
it
that
is.
already,
I
no?
think it is.
I don't know if we
Yeah,
did.
in the current second time.
Oh, sorry, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Moving on.
Continuity for what we said
Yeah.
at the end of the second part.
Awful.
What we will talk about.
Yeah.
Why the hell was Arnie called Dutch, by the way, as another aside?
That's his
Because he's from the
character's name.
Netherlands.
Oh, is that what? All right, fair enough. Because I was just a major Alan
definitely
Dutch
not from the
Schaefer.
Netherlands.
Definitely was not from the Netherlands.
Yeah,
But
Dutch.
I don't know. It's just weird.
That's
Anyway,
his-
It's a
Sorry.
common
Cali.
name. I don't know if it's common.
No,
but
It
it
would
is
just
a-
be his last name.
his name is Alan. Dutch Schaefer.
Do they
So-
ever call him Alan in the film?
No, apparently not. Well, not that I remember.
Or
but
Schaefer? He's only ever referred to as Dutch.
yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
It's weird
All
when
right.
character names are like that, and then you see the credits, and you're like, "Oh, he actually had a normal name."
Yeah. Anyway.
It was Gavin.
It's Francis.
Gavin
Gavin
Dutch Goldstein.
Yeah, he just loves Dutch gold. That's why his middle name is Dutch.
Dutchy. Don't
Yeah.
leave the Dutchy at
Yeah.
home. All right. So, the film provided a variety of hardships for the actors, such as leeches, snakes, stifling humidity, heat, and rough terrain. All of the night scenes were filmed during freezing cold temperatures,
Jesus.
which was especially hard on Arnold Schwarzenegger during the latter half of the film, when the mud he had to wear, actually it was pottery clay,
Yeah.
became cold and wet. He was warned it would take his body temperature down a few degrees. And
That's why the Predator couldn't see him.
He was covered in pottery clay.
Yeah.
So pottery clay actually, when it hardens, keeps the heat, whatever's behind. So like it literally is a filter.
Okay.
So he became, the cold was held in him.
Can you imagine that
Are
scene
you-
in Predator? Like,
hang
where
on,
do you
hang
get
on.
the, po-
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
pottery
wait,
They
thing?
tried to dry him out with
Are
lamps.
you saying it turned him into Mr. Freeze?
So Vic's like, oh, I got a great joke.
Victor Freeze.
Wait, when you said
Yeah.
leeches, was that all
Yeah.
the Mexicans that were in?
Oh, God.
It was filmed in Mexico. So
They were all the Mexicans in the jungle.
no, but the water,
Borderline racist.
the water was overrun with leeches, and there was a lot of injuries and stuff. But it says it made the clay dry out every time he went to the heat lamps. So he tried drinking Jaeger tea, something he's been known for. It's a schnapps mixture with Jägermeister to warm him. But it got him drunk many times on set. and
Give me
they
the Jaeger.
They had to reshoot many scenes.
Oh, God.
So
So that's why he couldn't fight the Predator.
Yeah.
He just kept falling over.
come.
He'd go to
Come
swim
on.
and just fall on his face.
Come get me. You
Come on, do it!
It's like, John, he got sick of me again.
I don't know what to tell you. It's like,
That was actually the director telling them to sober up.
Yeah.
okay, next. Jesse Ventura was delighted to find out from the wardrobe department that his arms were 1 inch bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
Fucking hell.
He suggested to Schwarzenegger that they should measure their arms, and the winner getting a bottle of champagne. Ventura lost because Schwarzenegger had told the wardrobe department to tell Ventura that his arms were bigger. That is fucking fantastic.
So they played it against each other. Beautiful.
3. After Dutch impales a bad guy with a wooden post with a machete, he utters the immortal one-liner, "Stick around."
Stick around.
This was improvised by Arnold Schwarzenegger along with many of his
course it
quips,
was.
as he is famous for, as they are not in the printed script that was released later
Yeah.
on with special editions.
Go on. Get to the chopper.
Come on, kill me. Okay, so where is it here? All right, so this one I have to show you the original character design.
Okay.
Between 5 and 6. So, I'll tell you the story. Jean-Claude Van Damme was actually originally cast to play the Predator.
Oh, I did hear this.
To play Predator.
The Predator.
Okay.
The idea being that the physical action star would use his martial arts to make the Predator an agile ninja raquel hunter. He was dropped for being too short at 5'9". Arnold Schwarzenegger and his team are bodybuilders who were between 6'2". The height between the team being the smallest at 6'2" and the highest at 6 foot. That's a big team.
Yeah.
Now that I think
How was that? How high? How tall was the tallest?
6'5".
Oh, okay.
So, additionally, it was reported that Van Damme has constantly complained about the monster suit being too hot, causing him to pass out on set. He also allegedly voiced his reservations on numerous occasions regarding the fact that he would not be appearing on camera without the suit. Additionally, the original design for the Predator was felt to be too cumbersome and difficult to manage in the jungle, and even more with a more imposing actor was felt to not provoke enough fear. Van Damme was immediately removed from the film and replaced by 7'2" Kevin Peter Hall as he became.
Who died very young.
It's
So
actually
director
Kevin
John McTiernan.
Did he?
Hall.
Like 36 or something
Wow.
like that. Yeah.
When
nine-
you're 7 foot tall, it comes with a whole
Wasn't it
bunch
Kevin
of health
and
issues.
Peter
Or
Hall?
Can.
It wasn't. It's not one person. It's actually two of the Mexicans in the one suit.
For
Jesus,
God's
Ken.
sake.
Ken is very...
Can I just apologize to our Mexican viewers out there? All none of you.
Just build a wall and get over it.
Oh, Jesus.
So, the original design... All right. Well... All right, this is no easy way of doing this.
I'm
I'm
just gonna
sorry,
turn
I
around,
love
look.
Mexican food.
Now, what's funny
Not
is...
people, I
this-
know what you didn't think.
Okay, that looks like a fucking armadillo.
Yes, okay, so the head was an ant. The body was like an armadillo. The eyes were like a bug of some sort, like this. It had little claw
It wasn't
things.
going to look like that.
By the
was it?
way, that is Jean-Claude Van Damme in the suit.
In the armadillo suit.
In the armadillo suit. So there's actually footage on
Looks
the
like a shit
documentary
Spider-Man costume.
of him actually in it. Like, look at that. You see the arm cannon and stuff like this?
Yeah.
I wanna see. What's really funny about it is they actually filmed half the film with the armadillo suit, and the reason
parts
why
that they
it got
CGI'd out there.
completely scrapped.
They like
Um,
armadillos.
It was first designed by a special effects company studio picked to save, but it was only picked because they could save money on different aspects of the actors' salaries. Stan Winston later created the Predator for $1.5 million. This other studio charged half that amount. Because of that, their Predator looked like someone in a lizard suit. The head of a duck is what Arnold Schwarzenegger said it was. It was a disgrace. But we filmed half the film anyway. When Winston was brought to redesign the Predator, the final fight scene had to be fully reshot. The new Predator was 8.5 feet tall, but the recast Kevin Peter Hall was 7'2". The costume was heavy off balance at over 200 pounds, with full mechanical suit and mandibles.
Wow.
Everything was movable. Hall couldn't see also with the mask on, and because of that, he actually, in the fight scene with Dutch, he hit Schwarzenegger so hard he nearly knocked him unconscious.
So, like, what his eyes would have been at, like, the mouth.
The eyes were above the armadillo
where he would
type
have
scene.
seen.
Like
You're
the,
talking about
the old suit or the
no,
new?
the
Oh,
new
sorry,
suit.
you're talking about
yeah.
the armadillo.
No, the actual predators.
The actual
that
predator,
we know.
yeah. So the eyes probably would have been where the mouth
He
would
was
have
on
been if
stilts
it's.
as well.
Oh, he was.
He
on
had an extra
stilts.
foot
Oh,
to get
okay.
the extra
I
foot.
thought you meant the suit just might have been taller than him.
Which is really taxing when you see him the way he moves. Fair fucks to the player with 200 pounds of extra weight on him. Where is it there? Yeah.
Like
So part of the
carrying
shoot
Arnie
was
on your back.
48 hours before Arnold Schwarzenegger's wedding rehearsal. Jesse Ventura found this hilarious and teased him about his nuptials, often ruining takes. John McTiernan was not amused. Schwarzenegger missed the final preparation, and Maria Shriver was not very happy about that because in his mind he was more in the film and not their wedding. That was not a good wedding night. I'd say that was an awful wedding night.
Not as bad as the night that she found out that he was fucking the maid.
Oh, that's true.
Hey.
That's
Is it the same wife?
fair point. Same wife.
Oh dear.
And then he sat in the corner and said, "Kill me, I'm right here."
Who
and
was,
then he got up and
who
boxed
was
the
he
face
married
over.
to?
Maria Shriver.
Never heard of her.
Okay, next one here. A question on this one for you. What do you think Predator's blood is made of?
Actually made of?
What was it
or-
actually made of? What does it look like?
Let's say, I'm going to say there's sugar in it.
Close.
Sugar.
No.
What's that? It's like the glow stick shit.
Hey! There's 2 parts.
Okay. Part glow stick, part
What's
Sugar.
the other thing to make that consistency?
Glucose.
No.
maple syrup.
No. It's
Treacle.
KY jelly.
K-boy jelly.
And glow sticks.
That
So
sounds like a fun night.
after
K-boy
watching that
jelly
film,
and glow sticks. Is that what you're going to tell Ryan when he's older?
Oh dear.
oh no, what do you think the body count is? I do this. If we ever do another Arnie film, I'm doing
Is
body
it
count every
including all the
time.
Mexicans?
Well, what was the body count
Yeah.
in Jingle All the Way?
No.
0.
Kill anybody.
1. That little midget definitely died when fucking Big Show punched him.
He's right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What do we
Let's
think?
say there was about
48.
30 in the camp.
Okay.
The 6 team members. So let's say 36.
All
I
right.
said 38.
38. Aiden.
Because if are you
37.
talking about
7.
like Arnie with crew body count, or do like the
Oh,
pilots
the whole
and
film.
stuff?
Just the whole film.
The pilots from the first plane.
Oh, I didn't
Oh.
consider those.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay,
They'd
so
be dead.
42.
All right, so I'm going to go with 49.
Okay. Sticking to the same.
47. No, 37. Fuck
All
it.
right. The body count is 69 humans.
Ew.
Most of them
Giggity.
at the hand of Dutch Schaefer. 1 scorpion, 1 boar, and 1 predator.
They're not bodies, though.
So the last one, most of the cast and crew suffer heavily from traveller's diarrhea. Since the Mexican hotel in which they were living was having problems with water purification.
That's next week's film, John.
The only one who didn't get sick was Arnold Schwarzenegger and John McTiernan.
It's because he was down in the Jaeger.
It's my medicine.
Imagine your whole cast having chronic diarrhea, just like and action.
Well, that girl
God.
did look skinnier at the end than she did at the start. Like,
Jesus Christ, it's like a top.
at least we're in the forest.
Okay.
That is our lovely fact.
I'm gonna hide here. You go. Oh fuck.
Before we move on to the list,
Go
one
on.
point I meant to make before we stop discussing the film.
Right.
Like, you
How-
3 are disgusting.
No.
Please stop it.
How
Make me sick.
out of place were what I thought were like sitcom like freeze frame pictures of all the actors at the end of the film.
It was bleeding grey.
Just
And
like
Arnie
Jesse
was-
Ventura turned around going,
And
I
Arnie was
fucking
the
love
only
that.
serious one. It's like he
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, and they took an outtake from the movie.
Stop photographing me.
So fantastic.
I just thought it was
That is
so,
so
weird.
80s. Like that is so 80s.
Because they had the captured, like the girl, she was looking down, then just looked up and went, and smiles. And it's like, what the fuck is this ending?
I'm
I
a
can
prisoner.
feed my family for a week.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have
okay,
Stockholm syndrome.
nobody's dead at the end. They all survived. I was like, zang.
Tricked you, motherfucker.
It's just corn syrup.
Yeah.
We
It's
go on-
okay, guys. I'm still alive.
We go on to the list.
Sure, let's do it.
Come on, internet.
Internet.
You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. So where are we thinking for this? Who wants to jump? Anyone got a number?
14.
What?
14? What?
No way. He's a 14.
Okay, 12.
Absolutely not. No way.
Blade Runner. No.
Don't be insane.
Bum, 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 bum. I am going to say, I will put it at 16.
You're really that.
I'm
okay.
saying underneath Doctor Strangelove, but before Superbad.
I'm going with Mick.
Under,
I'm siding with him right now.
under Doctor Strangelove?
Because I think it's better than Superbad. It's better.
It's not better than The Thing. I
No,
love
it's-
Predator, but it's not better than The Thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not better than The Thing.
I could
Or
put it.
It. Or The Fly or Baby Driver.
I'd put it
Driver's
under.
better,
Yeah,
guys.
I'd put it under.
I
The
could
Thing.
go under the. I could go. Yeah, I guess I could also see.
after The Thing.
I could see the case for Under the Fly as well. I think it's a better film than Baby Driver. Baby Driver, for me, I still like that film. It had a massive impression on me the first time I saw it. Rewatching it, I didn't have as big an impression
Right.
because the novelty of the, hey, everything is cut to music and it all flows from that doesn't impact as much the second time around,
Yeah,
if that
right.
makes sense.
What about After The Thing then?
What thing?
So you're saying 18, Joe?
Yeah.
I can see that. I really like that It film.
Yeah, same.
This is getting closer and closer to the 20s. It's not making its way outside the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
It can't.
I don't think it should.
I would have had it in the 30s. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wow.
Jesus.
You've only seen it once. You are out of the
You
question.
need to rewatch it.
Anyway,
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I really have a horse in this race because like I definitely.
Well, no,
would have had it as-
it's a combined list. We want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Is it Mick?
Yeah.
Is it me?
No, it's not. I actually go in and reorganize
I know
things
you
after
do.
the podcast because you guys won't remember.
I'm gonna
And
say
I
sorry,
control the
Ken.
list. So
21.
It's 21.
you're saying underneath Baby Driver?
no.
Underneath, there's nice guys.
That's 22.
Oh.
Wait.
Is it? Wait, hang on. I need to refresh this pitch then.
Oh, did
Mick
you
literally
add one,
just
did
added
you?
them in
Oh,
now.
I was
did he?
wondering why
No,
I was
I
like,
had to
what
add
the
Gremlins and National Lampoon's in.
Yeah, I'd say 22 then.
Oh, wow.
But that's
okay.
just.
Wait, hold on. Did the Nice Guys and Baby Driver just swap?
No.
No.
Mick's fucking with the list.
Whoa.
I could live with it.
I'd say even. Yeah.
I'd like it.
I mean, if we
maybe
want,
above
yeah,
the
if we
Fly,
want the
if
list to
possible.
reflect collective opinion, rather, like obviously three of us are strong on it. Aiden is way down. So where would you actually place it if you had?
Honestly,
Yeah. Like
60.
okay,
No, I'm just joking.
let's have a look here. So I know how high you are in Scream, so it'll be below Scream.
Mm-hmm.
National Lampoon's Winter Holiday, which
below
is how
that.
it's listed in IMDb. Anvil, the story of Anvil.
I'd say below that as well.
Apollo 13.
I'd put it above Apollo 13, but I wouldn't put it above if it was up to me. Like,
So you're saying 34 is where you're.
honestly, if it was up to me, I'd say you're gonna kill me. I probably would have said like 40.
You're wrong.
Wow.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
It's like to me, like it's not a bad film. But I was like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, it was all right. Like,
But think
Yeah.
of it as if you were sitting there in the cinema the day that came out.
see, I can't do that. I was 2 when it came out. No, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's
So
You would have shat yourself. That would have been the best
Yeah.
thing.
In fairness,
Literally.
all 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
You would, if you were the age you are now back then when that came out in the cinema,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure
watching it
every
now, though.
single one of us would have just went.
but is that the approach we've been using for this list today?
now,
It's
that
all
movie.
how we
yes.
how we feel thing.
yeah. Like you can say if you can respect a film and how much it contributed to a particular type of cinema at a particular time without thinking that it is currently a very watchable film.
yeah.
I think that was the thought we had behind. Like, if you look way down on our list, you see American Graffiti is 44, Enter the Dragon is 52, and Enter the Dragon, we all said, doesn't really play very well now, but you can respect what it did for, like, martial arts cinema in...
What the fuck is
100%.
Pokemon above it? That's
I
weird.
respect
I
Enter
don't
the
know.
Dragon for what it did,
Mhm.
but it's a shit film. And
Hey,
I
it
say
has,
is a bit
it
shit,
has,
isn't
it was a
has-
shit film.
Predator is
It
not
has
shit. However,
mangy
That's-
looking
I wanna
bear
put that
claws.
out there.
Once you can
It
say
was
that.
awful. That was an awful film.
I
I was
think-
a
Blah.
I think with Predator,
20.
it holds up well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's aging well.
It holds
I honestly
up
do
well.
think it's aging
I
well.
think with even
Yeah.
modern CGI, it still looks as good as the latest stuff that comes out now.
Well, it's all practical
bit
effects.
it's
yeah.
practical.
It helps.
The story doesn't lose you.
Yeah.
It's not one of them where it has a story, goes off on some little weird tangent, and then at the end goes, yeah, so we got the bad guy. Wait, what?
It holds
You know
up together very well. Unlike, say, They Live, for example, another sort of action thing we watched recently.
Yeah.
That's aging.
There's
like
no
an
the only
orange.
thing that drags on a bit is that helicopter
scene.
scene there. No, the helicopter scene near the start. No, it's not where They Live. The helicopter scene near the start, whereas the first fucking half an hour to 40 minutes of They Live is pointless.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
That film
But,
is
and-
aging like an orange.
yeah, exactly. It's aging like milk. To borrow a phrase from Dano, which I loved.
It's true. It's an awful.
but,
fucking
like,
film.
Even like with
Whoa.
Arnie's cheesy lines, like they don't take away from the film at all.
No.
Like they just they
No,
totally
I
work.
thought they might.
This to me like just is like his performance in particular. Like this is like everything you love about Arnie. Like just I don't know, something about that man and just the way when he's in a film like this, he's fucking fantastic, isn't he? Like
He's
like
in,
that
it's
whole
in his
third-
element of what he's
oh
good
yeah,
at.
and again that whole third act is just glorious. Not that the first two acts are and anything to sniff at or
Yeah.
whatever, but
There's something
like
special about that.
And
third
again,
act.
I'm sick of saying
Really.
this every single week, but it's obviously the mood you're in
yeah,
at the time.
and you
'Cause, like,
forget as well. With like if like we haven't watched Trading Places since we watched it
Uh-huh.
a year and a bit ago, so I can't. I've no idea why it's so high.
Yeah.
But
I was only thinking that. I go,
So
how
weird,
did
isn't
that
it?
go against like above like Planet of the Apes?
And
I
if you
don't
think
know.
about it,
No way.
it would have been higher
yeah,
because other movies
some
would have
point,
pushed
yeah.
that down.
yeah.
All right, so
I'd say 20. Like if we're over in the 20s, I'd say 22. But like that's my opinion. What do you guys?
I really like The Nice Guys.
I think the Nice
I
Guys.
really do.
I think the Nice Guys is a much better film. But that's me.
Mhm.
I don't know.
As a kind of compromise, I can see 22.
But you said
I
you didn't
can
want
live
to
with
let it in the
22.
20s.
I can
Ken,
live
so
with it because
what do you think?
the films are not bad above it. You know what?
Yeah,
They're
well,
great
except for
films.
Superbad.
I would
That's
prefer
very
it
super bad.
to be say 19
good.
or even 18.
Mhm.
I prefer it there, along with films like The Thing and The Fly. There, I'd love to see it right in the middle, like that.
What
would
about
be
I
Turn
can
on the
I
Bomb.
can see it at 20 in this list.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's exactly what I was
This
I-
saying.
list is a sham.
and a fraud.
Because I'm
Sham.
just re-looking at it again, and I know we only watched it a few weeks ago, but The Fly is so good.
That was
Yeah.
a great film.
Like
man.
I actually have to sit down and watch that because that week I
Yeah.
never got a chance to
Such a
watch that
good
again.
fucking film.
from the
Same with was it
the-
Gremlins?
Surprised me.
yeah, from the story
Oh,
thing
yeah.
and from the kind of message and like heart that film gets across.
And Goldblum's performance as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he's.
So what? Could we live with 20?
I could have you like if I must. But I
Yeah,
do
I'll-
think I can see arguments as to why Baby Driver. Like I think the one thing that really hurts Baby Driver is the ending. I think they should have just. I said at the time they should have just stopped when they got to the bridge,
Yeah.
and maybe you can show the shot of the cops up ahead, and then the shot of them driving towards the cops,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
and
just
then not
end it
not
there.
knowing that the
Yeah.
cops are up ahead, and then just end it. That
Yeah.
would have been perfect
Love
to me.
it. Yeah.
But
They don't need the prison
not-
montage
not
and
at all,
the
no.
happy reunion at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, not needed.
Yeah, they could have set it up for a sequel.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's just him in
Bit
prison for
teenage
3 years.
driver.
Yeah.
yeah. So you legally change your name to teenage? That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Oh.
Teenage pedestrian.
Oh, Jesus.
He can't drive anymore. Obviously,
Yeah,
he's
got
he's
his
banned
license
from
taken
driving,
off him.
yeah.
Edgar, are you sure? Is this a good idea, Edgar? I
Baby with 3 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speeding.
revoked license
Could we do
driver.
that? Could we do
All
that
right,
then?
it sounds like we're kind of 20 as the compromise.
So 22.
All right, all right.
Too late. I've written down the number 20 in my
Yeah,
notes.
it's permanent now.
So that's
Piss.
what
Ink
happens.
is permanent.
Even though the Nice Guys is clearly better, right?
Oh, 100%.
We all agreed on that?
Did you watch? You weren't. Did you watch
Nice
Nice
Guys,
Have you seen
not
it?
with you with the podcast,
You have
but
seen
I've
it,
seen
though.
it
Okay.
twice, and it's fucking phenomenal.
So good.
Phenomenal
But
film.
I think Predator is more up my alley of movies,
Mhm.
and so I prefer it. And
That's
what
fair,
it done,
Plus,
Yeah.
you've had a longer love affair with Predator as such, haven't you?
I
yeah.
think he has.
So there's that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think I love what that genre sparked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Bloods.
every type of horror style thriller,
Yeah.
alien sci-fi type movie you see. It's either mentioned or there's some sort of
Yeah, there's
gimmick
some
in the background.
cultural fucking
He's actually,
reference
weirdly enough, he's not on the shelf. He's in
I
your
do
room,
have a
Joe.
pop vinyl. Yeah, I do have a pop
Yeah,
vinyl.
I should have put him on
Masked
the
or
front
unmasked?
and put 3 dots on the front of all the preachers' faces.
Is he masked or unmasked?
I've got the unmasked.
Actually,
Oh,
hold
sorry.
on for a second.
I
Yeah, I
actually
gotta
think
see
I
this.
have that exact same
Do you
pop
have the
vinyl.
one?
Yeah.
It was a very early pop vinyl. I have that years.
I'm really happy that I didn't know that he was going to take off the mask.
Mhm.
I didn't know what he looked like beneath the mask.
While we're waiting on that, final thoughts on Predator. I think we've been
It
kind of
is-
going through them now, but it's
pretty much it's aging fantastically, and I was expecting. So I've always loved this film, but I wasn't
It is-
expecting it to age as good as
yeah.
it has.
it is classic Arnie. It's classic action. Like
For the
it's
first time ever,
oh,
my arm is in the podcast.
Oh,
the mystery is
I'm just gonna
slightly
calm
calm
more.
down, ladies.
Yeah, that's a quality pop
Uh-huh.
punk.
Yeah.
Pop punk out.
I thought he would have been a bobble.
I think it's I hate the bobble-headed ones.
Fuck you.
Jesus.
It's weird. So Predator is like one of those. If you were asked to show an example of what the kind of 80s action movie genre is, Predator is probably the film you go to.
Commando as well. It'd probably be Arnie. It would probably be like,
Yeah.
what do you want to know what 80s action is? It's like,
RoboCop.
you need to see that, Die Hard, at least 10 Arnie films, because he came out with a ridiculous amount of
Well, that's when he was at his prime.
He must have done about 4 films a
the
year.
Early 90s, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
We ready to rock on to part 2 then?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so join us in part 2 where we'll be discussing whether the action movie genre is dead.
Won't you?
And welcome back to part 2 where we're asking, is the action genre dead?
Well, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Part
we'll
2
tune
over.
in
See you next week. Keep on preaching. Good second half, boys.
Yeah.
Well done.
You know what? Yeah. I think we really knocked that one out of the park. If you ask me, all right.
I'm glad
All
that the battery troubles were this
Yeah.
week.
Keep on preaching. See,
Schlongefall.
No,
Yeah.
this was Joe, you came up with this question. So
I
it's
did.
like
Aiden had mentioned it, I think, while we were doing a raid at the weekend, and I was like, I think that could really start a good discussion on from the modern kind of take on action films we have now and what they've kind of evolved into, which I'll get into. But to what we know as the greatest.
So your question was like
10 years.
the golden age of, or what a lot of people call the golden age of action film. So the kind of 80s Schwarzenegger, Stallone,
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else?
Well, Arnie.
Arnie's got to be Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's got to
I
be
said
there.
Schwarzenegger.
Did
It's
you?
the first
Was that
name
the first
I said.
one you said?
Oh, sorry.
Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Willis, Dolph Lundgren,
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you?
It's Ken touching his laptop.
Oh, it was? Holy shit, that was a lot
Touching
of
myself for my
Uh-huh.
feedback.
Ken's touching
What?
himself again.
Yeah.
Once I'm off camera, I'm okay.
Oh, what's Under Siege? What's his name?
Steven Seagal.
Steven
Steven
Seagal.
Seagal.
Oh, the bleeding the lad with the rosary beads.
Jean-Claude Van
Nail
Damme.
beads.
But even outside of those guys, like fucking Mel Gibson and Danny Glover were in some of the biggest
Lethal
action
Yeah.
films of the I was going to say the generation, but the decade.
Definitely, Lethal Weapon's got to be up there as one of the great action films of that kind of
Yeah.
decade.
So what makes an like when you say action film or action genre? What are you what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Explosion.
What
it could
what
be different.
makes for you what makes the action genre?
Cheesy, over the top, loads of explosions. There's
Okay.
always one guy that solves the problem by killing hundreds of bad guys, and it's just more explosions. Random quick quips as you're killing them, that wins.
Yeah.
Stick around.
There's always some bad villain who's like at least 90% German all the time.
And he has a
It's true.
henchman that is really big and muscular.
And with blonde hair and blue eyes every single time.
And
there's,
while
there's
you're-
always one.
Since you've asked, Mick, Wikipedia says action
Webster's
film.
dictionary defines action as
Action film is a film genre in which the protagonist or protagonists are thrust into a series of challenges that typically include violence, extended fighting, physical feats, and frantic chases. Action films tend to feature a resourceful hero struggling against incredible odds, which include life-threatening situations, a villain, or pursuit, which generally concludes in victory for the hero. Brackets, though a small number of films have in the genre have ended in victory for the villain instead. So yeah.
do we have an example?
No.
You're going to follow that
there's
up
no
with
examples.
The Smurfs movie.
What the fuck was in the Smurfs movie?
I
Neil
don't
Patrick
know.
Harris.
I
What
love
an action
I
hero.
love NPH, but no way.
Mhm.
I bet you that film is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, awful. Like,
Oh, I got subgenres.
Well, he wasn't in it. His voice was.
I know he's the main character.
No, he's
character, isn't he?
In
Oh,
yeah,
Smurfs.
he's physically in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or is he? Wait, is he Gargamel?
No, I thought he was the main character.
I can't
Papa
remember.
Smurf?
I'm lost.
Me too, and we're wildly off topic now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what it means to me.
Mhm.
I think. I don't know. I really grew up with that love of action films, like just those actors that we mentioned alone
Mhm.
Yeah,
have
it's
some
like-
of the best films of my childhood.
Yeah, well, I'm absolutely going to be relying on you guys quite a lot.
You're not
for
an
this one,
action
'cause
film kind of guy.
I've seen some and I've enjoyed them, but like I do have some examples now, by the way, from the action comedy subgenre, for example. It mentions Dumb and Dumber here. That's not a fucking action movie.
That's not an action.
No,
film.
it's not at all. Beverly Hills Cop, though, absolutely.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
which you already
100%,
mentioned.
100%.
Midnight Run, I've never seen. Bad Boys, I've never seen either. Rush Hour.
Yeah,
Is Rush Hour any good?
Bad Boys are one hell of an action
Michael Bay
film.
is an action film director.
Yeah, if Michael Bay does it, it's an action film.
He's a cunt.
Explosion.
So much hatred for
I hate Michael Bay. The Rundown, never seen that. Hot Fuzz, I would just absolutely say, yeah, that is a
Yeah,
Action
comedy.
comedy.
action,
Comedy
yeah.
action.
The last
'Cause-
20 minutes.
True.
Definitely
Yeah.
an action
Comedy
film.
action. in the last 20
no, like I think most of it. I think the whole thing is very much a
action.
just
oriented.
overall it's an action comedy.
It's a genre that can get very a very broad definition because
Yeah.
do you count an action film as a film that has action in it? In which case it's like there's a whole lot of subgenres of action because there's like action adventure. You like your Indiana Jones isn't a typical action film, but that's more of a swashbuckling. A
Yeah.
swashbuckling hero tale which has action in it. Like
Yeah.
is Star Wars an action film?
no.
It's more it's
I'd
sci-fi.
say
Sci-fi.
obviously.
It's
yeah.
action sci-fi.
But it's
It's still got action. It's got battles. It's
Yeah.
got a protagonist. It's got an antagonist that literally is
Sci-fi action. Yeah, it's in there, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, there's
Hey, that-
Wikipedia, so
it
take
just
that.
it
take that
the
yeah.
genre itself
What it
lends
is.
itself to being mixed in with a lot of other genres very easily. I mean, I think the effect we see of that now is like comic book films.
Yeah.
That's one thing I was
that's-
actually going to talk
That's
about.
what's after taking over.
They're
like,
they're
with the
pretty
action
much the
movies.
modern
movies?
action
I,
films.
I,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Marvel have definitely, it's that evolved state of what an action film is. When someone now 10 years from now says is going to be like, oh, what do you think of action films? They're like, I love the Avengers. That's
Yeah.
what's going to be said.
Yeah.
Now when I say do you like action films, and you're like, I'm going to scream get to the chopper really really loud and say,
Yeah.
have you seen Predator? Have you seen this? Have you seen Die Hard? Have you seen
Yeah.
these classic kind of what really defined the genre?
Yeah.
While now
And there's no doubt like people like Arnie and Stallone made their names off of that genre.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
And that's how we got those Expendables films.
Are Mission
Was
Impossible
that
still?
style. Oh,
are
hell
they
yeah.
out?
Oh, yeah.
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 I haven't seen. I've seen the first one, I think, but I was about 12 and I can't remember it at all.
I would say
Are they still good?
They've been consistently good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've
They've
not
been bad since Limp Bizkit didn't write songs for them.
I've
I'd
not,
say they're probably better since those fuckheads stopped writing for them.
I've not
Wasn't that the second one
I
on the
think so,
motorbike chase?
yeah.
They did Roland.
I have not seen any of the newer Mission Impossible films. I hear they're all great.
Rogue Nation's fantastic.
I think the first one
Which one's the one?
it has action elements, but again, I think of that more as
Spy
a
thriller.
spy thriller. Yeah, because
100%.
it's
I
a lot
agree.
of intrigue, and obviously Tom Cruise doing stunts because that's Tom Cruise. But yeah, I think that
Rogue
first
Nation
one.
got him on the map because of his stunt thing. Because
Spy
of,
thriller.
did you see the trailer with he's grabbing onto the plane?
Uh-huh.
He did that.
That's just
He literally harnessed himself to the plane and he took off and landed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole featurette on
Jesus Christ! I'm just looking at. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
ratings for Mission Impossible Fallout. 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb for users, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
97% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and 86% on Metacritic. So it's
might have to watch
that
it.
says it's really fucking good, and it's the 6th film in the series.
Yeah, so to have that
Which
go
is
to like
crazy.
the 6th film and have that high of a rating,
yeah.
Had a-
they're really enjoyable. They're
Mhm.
not. They still keep that intrigue.
I think
of
they
the
had a
team.
bit of a resurgence too. It's generally derided, even though like it's because it's a genre like it's
I don't
directed
like two
by
that much.
it's directed by John Woo,
Yeah.
but it's an Americanized John Woo in the
John
same way
Woo.
way that Hulk film was John Woo, but not the John Woo you think. 'Cause, like he made his
I
name
getcha.
obviously in Japanese
Oh,
cinema.
the
and
terrible
then
one with
The John
Eric
Woo
Bana.
Ang
Ang
Lee.
Lee. No,
Eric
Am
Bana,
I-
that one. 'Cause that's
sorry,
awful.
sorry, I got that completely wrong. It's
The
Ang
Eric
Lee
Bana
is the
one is
Hulk.
awful.
That's the one I was
Really
thinking
bad.
of. I'm mixing up my Asian directors. I'm thinking of
That's
Why,
borderline
Mick?
racist.
Why, Mick? What were you going to say next? That they
no Ang Lee is
they all
directed
look-
that Hulk,
what?
not John Woo.
Okay.
Don't make me
Um,
angry.
Oh dear
I
God!
stole that joke. I apologize.
You got there before me. I felt so proud.
It's like, thank God I didn't take that bullet.
Yeah.
It's like somebody has to make that joke. Somebody has to do it. Yeah, thank God he did it.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing I noticed most about the Mission Impossibles is I think they had the first, which was the Spy Thriller. The second went on to be a little bit more niche.
Mhm.
The third, and then from then on, they were like, right, we're going to do an action trilogy. So all three of them are linked.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing that happened with the Fast and Furious. They just deviated from, hey, look, fast cars, to heist action, over the top
Yeah.
Hollywood blockbuster.
Explosions.
100%.
Sorry,
they,
I'm going
they
to say that
drove
like a
tank.
million times.
Like a tank flies through the air and explosions.
A
and
car explodes through the front of an airplane.
like there's that turned into
The
a
Fast,
huge
yeah,
action film.
the Fast and the Furious went from a kind of car porn chase type
Yeah.
film, which the first one absolutely certainly was, and the second one
To
is
car porn with explosions.
to. They are probably the biggest action movies in the world at the minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
from as a series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like
And-
anything The Rock does for it, it's all over his Instagram.
Yeah, they brought in The Rock. They had Jason
Yeah.
Statham brought in as another villain.
And like even their battle down in one of the movies, the two, that was like a huge, like 5 minute long scene.
and
it
this
was
year
amazing.
you'll get Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
It's a side quill, like a side project. It's
Don't
them-
ever use the phrase side quill.
Yeah, I know. It's their two characters
Okay.
teaming up. For
Well, I don't know
something else.
who either of those people are.
It's The Rock's character is Hobbs and Shaw is
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Oh, okay.
They're doing their own film because I don't think they know what to do now after.
9
Yeah,
or Fate of the Furious. Was that the last one?
that was the last one. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually pretty good. Like they're not. You're not going to win any fucking awards, but they still
They're
like
popcorn,
doubled their
yeah,
money
they're popcorn
at every box
action
office.
films.
Like they're
I
a
should
billion
wa-
dollar
I should
franchise.
watch some of those. I've seen the first one. I've seen the second one. And I think I've seen the fourth one. I've
Right.
not seen Tokyo Drift.
I've just seen Too Fast, Too Furious. That's all I've seen.
Oh,
the
you
one with
poor
Luda.
bastard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
it was
least. That
alright.
is definitely the low end of the
A
spectrum.
lot of
for it.
people don't like Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm on the cusp of it. This
It's a
first time I
weird-
watched it, I blasted that movie as shit on a fucking stick for about 10 years. And now, when I went back and rewatched it, wasn't as bad as I remember.
From what I
that
know,
It was all
annoys me.
neon signs and
yeah.
handbrakes.
Well, yeah, it's Tokyo.
Tokyo!
That's all it was.
from
Whenever, sorry to interrupt. Whenever I think of Too Fast, Too Furious, though.
this whole podcast is going to be Aiden. Sorry to interrupt. but
No, sorry. I just had to bring this before I forget.
Go on.
I just remember seeing a car. I was just walking into my local shop
No way.
with I know, yeah, with seat covers, and it was a fucking. I think it was an Opel.
covers.
No, it was an Opel
You
Corsa.
definitely grew up in the country.
No, but like it was, yeah.
Aiden's current car has seat covers.
It does, yeah.
I have
no,
a
it's,
radio in my car.
It's I only have to wait for the engine to warm for 5 minutes before I drive off. No, but it was an Opel Corsa, and it had seat covers that said Too Fast, Too Furious, and I was just like, that's an Opel Corsa. That's neither fast nor is it furious. Certainly not Too Fast
so
or
it
Too
was
Furious.
a little furious.
Someone
In
needs to
fairness-
put a little note on
Just
the
weird, though.
window wiper. You are not
Yeah.
fast. You are
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
furious.
you didn't earn these seats covers. I'm sorry, you didn't.
No, but when the movie
Seat
came out,
covers
there was
even.
one of the cars that had, it was a decal on the side of it. It was like a man with like his arm out with like a spear or something in it. I can't remember exactly what it was. I
Wasn't
think
that
it was on
Thor?
the green car.
Or
No, it's a
Aquaman.
hammer.
No, you're
Oh,
thinking
Aquaman.
of the Supra with the Indian on the side, where his hand is stretched out like this
I think
across
so,
the back
something like
end
that.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
that
remember
was on
that.
like nearly every car,
Mhm.
regardless from Micra to BMW. It was on them all.
And you just remember the 3-year period of time where after that film came out and it was just neon lights everywhere down at the mill with the Honda Civics over at the
Oh,
McDonald's.
yeah,
like-
under the arse of it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Did you ever see the smashed bulbs beside high ramps?
What?
Smashed neon bulbs
Yeah.
at like
Oh,
ramps
yeah, I
because
getcha.
they've gone too fast over it and broke their neon lights.
Our
So
They
that was-
furiously went over that.
It's like, well,
way
it-
too
too
fast.
fast.
It's Too Furious. High five, bro. You know. What were you saying about Tokyo Queef?
Tokyo. Fuck. We are
If
taking
I
this up to
remember right, Tokyo Drift is like the last film in the series
the 5th.
timeline-wise.
It's like
Yeah.
I
one.
thought everything that happened... They've not caught up to Tokyo Drift yet, which sounds really weird to
Tokyo
me.
Drift is so the end of Tokyo
What
Drift.
are they, the fucking Saw movies?
Yeah, so like they did Tokyo Drift with a whole different cast of characters.
Yeah.
Like no one from Too Fast, Too Furious or the original
Except
was
for one character.
One character,
Okay.
the Chinese guy.
in this one. And then either it bombed or it wasn't very well received. And then Vin Diesel came back for, I think the fourth one is just called Fast and Furious, isn't it?
So they dropped the definitive article.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They just
Probably,
dropped it
yeah.
and made it. Yeah, so there
That's
is
the
a definitive order of it. and
But
then-
when you get to the one
It's-
after in chronological order, when you get to the one after Tokyo Drift, there is a character in that movie that you flash back and see relating to.
I'm gonna have to tell it because it will make no sense to do
it's
it.
kind of
Like,
very confusing.
It's gonna ruin a tiny little spoiler. But we're
Oh, no.
spoiler cast.
Yeah.
At the end
And
of
that film has been out for 15 years.
At the end of the Tokyo Drift,
Yeah.
basically the Chinese guy's car gets flipped and he's killed.
Okay, I knew
Right.
someone died. Yeah.
At the end of Furious 6, I think it is, Jason Statham's brother basically is the bad guy in it.
Okay.
He ends up being killed by one of the guys. Anyway, Jason Statham rings up at the end and goes, there's consequences to what you do to my family. He's in the car and he knocks the Chinese guy over, so it links the whole timeline around.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only way they could do it.
And then
it's like we have to relate that in
launched
somehow.
a trilogy of
we need to retcon this weird
Yeah.
side story we did
Yeah.
in Tokyo. So
Pretty
okay,
much.
let's do that. Speaking
Yeah.
of Jason Statham, he has kind of led a very modern resurgence of the classic action film.
Crank.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of the game hurling?
What?
It's a mix between hockey and murder. I love that scene.
Did you ever see that? Beats the
No.
shit out of a couple of guys in an alley. Has a hurl.
Yeah.
And that's the line.
Yeah.
He just picks it
What?
up and they goes,
He
what
has
the
a hurl.
What the
He's-
fuck is that? And he goes, this is a hurl from the Irish game
Which
of hurling.
film is this?
I'll get it now.
Was it not like one of the first cranks?
No.
Was that not Harry Potter and the Summer of Hurling?
But this was in like East London.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was a lot of
Mad.
thugs like breaking up a car, and he just walks out of his apartment with a bleeding hurdle in his hand.
Every paddy watching that, she's yeah, get those hands.
But no, like, have you ever seen Crank?
No. I was just seeing the terrible looking poster, that's all.
It's called Blitz.
Oh, that's what it
Film.
was.
They try to take him on.
Crank, I think it's only like 75 minutes long,
Right.
but it is a complete like balls to the wall, non-stop, like 75 minutes of action. Because the entire premise of that film is like you've been injected with a drug, and if your like adrenaline level falls below a certain amount, like he dies.
The man
Yeah.
who couldn't
Yeah.
slow down.
Pretty much.
If I remember, doesn't the second one they remove his heart?
In the second one, they remove his.
No,
heart.
that's
And
Iron
that was
Man.
the start of Iron Man.
Yeah, that's Iron
Jason
Man.
Statham.
In the
grew
second,
hair,
in the
got
second one,
old.
they remove his heart,
Yeah.
replace it
With
with
a
a
battery
pace,
or-
like a battery/pacemaker thing.
A fucking AA battery
And
in his chest.
the equivalent of it was that thing couldn't hold a charge, so he had to constantly electrocute himself.
Yeah. Or keep
To
his
charge the
adrenaline to
battery.
charge it.
Sorry, isn't that
At one
Flatliners?
stage, you know what's the best scene in the whole film is at one stage, his heart rate is going really low, and his girlfriend, who's played by the beautiful Amy Smart, is in it, and they're in the middle of a marketplace in like India, all right, and he's like, I gotta get my adrenaline up like that, so they just start riding right in the middle of the fucking thing, like everyone's watching them all in a circle, and he is lapping her over in the middle of
the one thing I'll say
marketplace.
about those films is that they're basically carbon copies of each other. And I always get the two mixed up. Is the Amy Smart in the marketplace the first one, and then the racetrack, like the horse racing track, the second, or is it the other way around?
I think it's the other way. Yeah. So the one in the marketplace where they have sex is the second one.
Okay, and then
'Cause
the
he has
first
the
one,
battery thing.
he lamps her out of it in the middle of a horse racing course.
In the middle of Cheltenham.
It's pretty much like that.
I put a tenner on him.
But she,
got him 2-1, mate.
but she doesn't let him come because he falls asleep after sex all the time.
No, because
Yeah.
the horse will
It's a really fucking stupid joke.
the horse will slip before he goes over the last hurdle.
Here's the funny thing. Both of those films are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they
Actually,
are
Crank High Voltage is the one that I'm
High
thinking of with the
voltage, that's it.
dumb looking
That
poster.
poster
Yeah.
is terrible because it's literally just a massive close up of his face
Yeah.
and like electrocution or something.
Yeah, he has
he's
a
putting like a
he has the-
battery clamp on his
on his
or
tongue.
something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He's got a few. Like, he's got Mechanic. is
Lock,
another
Stock,
one.
and Two Smoking Barrels.
You ever see Mechanic?
Yeah.
He's in that.
No.
Mechanic is fantastic. It's just another balls to the wall action film.
Speaking of Jason Statham,
Transporter.
what
Actually,
about
now that I think
Keanu
about it.
Reeves?
All right, this is one we definitely need to bring up, especially even in the comments they were mentioned.
Mhm.
John
Even though
Wick.
Jason Statham has nothing got to do with Keanu Reeves, I just thought I'd swing it that way. 'cause it
Oh
came
no,
into
I
me
knew.
head.
I appreciate your attempt at a very bad segue.
Yeah.
It was intentional, I assumed.
Oh, 100% was.
John Wick is probably my favorite action film of the last 20 years. Easy.
20?
John Wick.
Well, look at it. That
I've
one
never
puts
seen
it
it.
back to 1998, by the way.
I was thinking 88, but I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, 20
You're
years ago
old.
was 98. We're getting
I
old.
wasn't
That's
born.
I don't know. Is that a reach? The Matrix came out in '99.
It is.
I love the Matrix.
I do love The Matrix. Is it an action film? Maybe.
Some of it certainly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that third
Yeah.
act in the
I would,
The bank or whatever,
I would
yeah,
say
Like
absolutely.
where
that.
CGI Keanu Reeves kicks the fuck out of
That's
CGI
Reloaded.
millions of...
Yeah.
the
Agent
second one,
Smith.
but yeah.
That scene has not aged well, people.
Not
It's
at
the
all.
smell.
It's rubber.
It is awful.
It's
looking.
rubber. It's like Stretch Armstrong and a
They're-
tumble dryer.
Yeah.
When he's the multiple fists.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
Oh no, when
So
he's running
bad.
around in a circle on the pole, kicking the face off like a million Agent Smiths.
Oh, that's the one of the sequels, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Reloaded.
the
I've only seen them
Reloaded, yeah.
once, and I've never watched them again because they're so terrible.
I don't mind Reloaded.
Yeah, I
I
like
feel-
Reloaded.
I feel like maybe I should give it another shot, but like that first one is so
Uh-huh.
like that first one is such a masterpiece. Like
Yeah.
The only thing I have, and this is gonna make me. No, I'm not even gonna say it. It's fine.
Too late. You already mentioned something. You have to continue.
you have to Anne Robinson
Go
this
on.
bitch.
No,
She
see,
started
no-
to
Go on,
finish.
Mick. Come
Popcorn,
on.
yeah. So Matrix 20th anniversary is this year,
Oh,
and
shit.
Popcorn are doing
Wow, 20 years.
Yeah.
like a showing of it tomorrow,
Right.
and I was gonna go see it,
Right.
and it's weird. Like it's a weird thing because it's like it now says on the Build poster directed by not Andy and Larry anymore because they transitioned to
Yeah, to
female. So
ladies,
it's
yeah.
I can't. Is it
Just the
Lana
Wachowskis.
and- It's the Wachowski sisters
They,
now.
no, they just they,
What?
Yeah, they
Oh,
transitioned.
they both
from
transitioned.
male
Isn't
to
that
female.
mad?
I
Both
do
of them did.
understand that, but
Yeah.
you change your past.
Or I don't know. Maybe I think they
Like,
just credited the
I
Wachowskis
credits
there now.
and stuff.
No, so that maybe it's just the way Popcorn labeled it, but it was like directed by
I said that weird.
Uh,
though. No. Anyway.
I'm completely.
Lana.
I think it's Lana, and it's another L name.
I think it is. Yeah.
They're
I'll look it up.
escaping me.
Larry.
I thought it was unusual.
It's still Larry.
I thought it was
I want to be a
unusual
woman,
that-
but I can't think of a new name. Fuck it.
I thought it was unusual that they
Larita?
billed it by their transition name, but I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, dumb aside. I want to go see that tomorrow
Yeah, I'd love to see that in the cinema.
It'd be
because
amazing,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
I
It was
I
18s
mixed
in
off
this
school
country.
to
You know
see-
that.
It was 15th.
It was 15, but then when it was released on DVD, sorry, it was
Reloaded.
18s.
Yeah,
Not
it was
dumb.
really annoying because I was 14 and like 8 months
Yeah.
and looked young for my age. So tried to go see it in the cinema. Guy was like, "You're not old enough." I'm like, "Fuck you, you bastard."
It's Lana and Lily, by the way.
Lana and Louis.
Lily.
Lily, sorry.
Oh, Lily.
Yeah, Lily.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I
would love to see it.
I thought it was
I would.
unusual that they went back and rebuild it as different
Yeah, I
with
think-
their other like their transition names rather than the
I can see what they want to do.
Yeah, no, that's-
I can fully see it, and that's their choice.
Mhm.
To me, if that was me, I can see. I goes, oh no, I did that at a different time in my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch it, but that's me.
But I,
Like-
I don't know. Like, obviously,
Like-
I've never transitioned or actually known anyone
Not
who's
yet,
done
anyway.
that. So, yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But or known anyone that's done that. So maybe it is part of the process. So
of trying to,
Mhm.
yeah.
fully embrace the new identity.
How did we get onto the thing? Oh yeah, because of John Wick.
hmm
Do you like John Wick?
I have seen the first one. I've yet to see the second one.
Oh, so good.
Um,
So good.
that first film is great. Like that first film is brilliant.
Is Keanu good in it?
Keanu is, yeah, like he's Keanu
He's
Reeves.
dry,
If that makes
he's
sense,
stiff, but yet the film just
it
he's
works.
vicious.
Yeah,
I think, and there's something really cool about the film. Like I always loved when the mob boss in the first one.
Careful of spoilers. I will watch it.
Have you never seen the first one?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't want to fuck it up.
yeah. No, it's good.
No,
Don't.
you have to watch that
Yeah,
film.
just
It's
go watch
it. Okay.
fantastic. It is definitely one of the greatest action films of the last.
One of my
least
favorite action
20
films in the
years.
last. I think that this would count as an action film. I think Baby Driver.
Yeah,
I could
in
see
a.
that.
Yeah, I think it, like it, to me, it's like yeah,
It then comes down to do you count? Because I would consider that a car film.
yeah.
I know car film is not a genre.
Well, yeah, I know. I get you. Like it's a more. I guess it's car chase film, maybe.
Yeah,
Mm.
like the action there is all cars.
Yeah,
For the most part, obviously there's shooting
most
as well,
part, yeah.
but it's minimal.
Very minimal. Yeah.
that film is almost like it's almost like a fucking musical the way that it's
Mhm.
it's made as well, which I've always.
Yeah, I was totally surprised by how good that film was. I
Yeah.
was not expecting that at all. And
Yeah.
I love those kind of surprises.
yeah.
Like I remember seeing a tiny little teaser for this is going to be another action film. The Kingsman.
Oh yeah,
Is this
yeah.
the
One
one
that-
with that English actor?
Colin Firth.
Yeah.
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 It's really
I
good.
always looked at those, and I've never seen them.
I've seen the first one.
And
it's
I
great.
looked at the poster and was like, okay, it's Colin Firth. He's like a romance actor.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't do action. I had no idea what those films were about.
He does
And
it
when
extraordinarily well.
And when I
There's
saw
one
someone,
scene in that.
when I saw someone mention it in, and we'll get to the feedback in a little bit. When I saw someone mention it as one of the standout action films of
100%.
like the decade, I was like, hang on,
Correct.
the film with the fucking the
foppish
Downton
English
Abbey guy.
Yeah.
100%.
And I was like, they're messing, they're dicking around.
Also,
he should have started action films earlier. There's
Yeah.
one scene in that film in a church where it's done only with 5 individual cuts
right.
from it, and it's a rotation scene of 60 people literally in the church with him, and it's a big fight. But the way it's filmed and the gore and the viciousness,
Yeah.
like there's any object is something you can kill someone with in the church. Like, I mean anything. Like, and
Okay.
so
I might have to watch it. That
It's
and
really good. Yeah.
Holy crap,
someone
that
in the
scene.
and we'll maybe do we want to move on to the comments?
yeah, I
now?
can indeed.
Because
yeah.
someone
Possible.
mentioned some other film,
There
and
is a few here.
you said you'd have to put it on your watch list because they were saying it was
3
like
times, 3 separate people
Yeah.
mentioned one film on it, and I'll get to that first before
Also,
I do it.
by the way,
It's called go on ahead there, lads. Just for a second, I'll find
Sorry,
it.
what you saying?
Baby Driver is, according to Wikipedia, Baby Driver is a 2017 action film written and directed by Edgar Wright. So it counts.
There
Did
it
you
is.
just go to Wikipedia and edit the entry before reading it?
No.
So the film's called The Night Comes For Us,
Yeah.
which got mentioned about 3 or 4 times, and it's your man who's in the Raid films.
Oh,
You know
speaking
him?
of good action films, those films are fucking class.
Supposedly, like, it's ridiculously high ratings on all across the board. 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. 7.1 IMDb. Metacritic is 69%.
I want a website called Metacritic.
Yeah.
And the 200 Google reviews as well of the thing, which is at rating at 95%.
Nice.
That's a pretty high one on
So
it.
is it
And
The Night
3
Comes
separate
For Us?
The Night Comes For Us. 3 separate people said to us that is one of the greatest action films of the last whatever decade or so. And I've never seen it, and so I'm gonna have to add that one to our list. Let's see. So I won't read out our full discussion that happened
No.
on it, but definitely taking a look at.
Holy shit. Sorry, just the guy that...
He doesn't
I'm
mean to
sorry.
interrupt, but
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
this just blew my mind. So
What?
you know Matthew Vaughn that directed Kick-Ass, which is another amazing action film, by the way,
Yes.
and Kingsman and stuff. His dad is Matthew Vaughn. Or
Matthew
sorry,
Vaughn's dad
his
is
dad
Matthew
is Robert
Vaughn.
Vaughn. Sorry, Robert Vaughn from Basketball and stuff.
Oh,
him.
It's his
No
dad.
way.
Isn't that crazy?
I love that kind of.
He had
So that's mad.
Who was Ty Cobb?
Yeah.
We also forgot
Oh my
one more.
God.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
There's another one that got mentioned that we totally forgot about.
Wesley.
He used to be huge. Like, I remember one of
Before
my.
his tax issues.
Still love that in Expendables 3, is it, where they break him out of prison? And he goes, "What were you in there for anyway?" And he just turns, it's like tax evasion. I thought that was just a great
Sweet.
little, like,
Yeah.
I was in prison for years because of it.
I've never seen any of those
Yeah.
Expendables movies, but I think the reason why I suggested this question is when you see those Expendables movies, I haven't seen them, but when I heard about it,
They
I was
are
like,
100% playing on that nostalgia for
exactly, yeah. So
the
it's like
classic 80s action film.
trying to revitalize it, trying to bring up that
Mhm.
classic 80s feel or whatever. That's certainly what it seems like anyway.
They're not going to win any awards. But I tell
No.
you, they are some of the most enjoyable action films.
Are they?
Like, they're just...
Like
I
if that's your
enjoyed-
bag, then
Smile.
go for it. Kind of.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed the first one. I didn't think too much of the second one, to be completely honest.
Did you
Which
see the
one's
third?
second one?
No, I've not seen the third one.
Third one's okay. They're all mediocre. Like,
I know the third one.
It's like,
Like-
Jesus, that's quite an about turn. You're like, oh, they're so much fun.
I love
They're
watching
mediocre
them.
though.
They're not a terribly great film.
Mhm.
So you need to be into your Arnie and Stallone and
Yeah,
Van
you
Damme
need to really have a
action
love for
movies and stuff. I kind of hate Van Damme right now. The reason for that is because
But
if
his
you
nipples
watch,
are so hard.
no, if you watch Eight out of 10
started
Cats
talking to
does, if you watch 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown
Uh-huh.
on Channel 4 and binge it like me and Adele have been doing, it's sponsored by Coors Light, which is advertised by
He's on it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
If I have to see,
my tight leopard skin on their face.
if I have to see his 2 to 3 dumb jokes in those fucking things many more times, I'm just going to lose it.
You're watching the
yeah.
pre-record. You know you can skip them, yeah.
No, you can't. It's not on Channel 4.
Really?
That sucks.
Oh,
But at least it's not the same. For years on Channel 4, 4OD, whatever they were calling it at the time, if you'd watch anything, any sort of comedy, they'd have the same clip from Peep Show over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've never seen Peep Show, although I really like, what's his name?
Mitchell.
David Mitchell.
David Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's really funny, and his wife is quite funny as well, and very hot.
Victoria Corin Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She used to be a journalist and is very, very good at poker.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might have heard that. But yeah,
How
they're
did you hear that?
they're
This
both
is
always
such a random fact. I love
No,
this.
so I got
Well, you
really,
like poker,
I
don't
got
you?
really big into poker, like in my college years, and I had a
in my college years.
in my college years.
young man.
But I
Quite
had
right,
I had a
O'Bean.
poker book, and like her photo was in it as like the celeb because it was like
That was definitely not a poker book.
Yeah.
but there
Bet
was
you had those
different kind of
nudie
poking.
poker cards.
Yeah.
nudie. I still do.
God, knew it.
But no, like there were like celebrity poker challenges, and she was always on them.
Yeah.
As the hey, here's a girl who can play poker. Let's.
She's always good
Fucking-
crack on 8 out of 10 castles,
Yeah.
Kent, if you get a
Here's
chance.
a girl that
She's
And
quite
he's-
good on QI as well. If you ever
I'd say
watch that
so.
show.
And David Mitchell is always excellent on 8 out of 10 cats as well. So I really want to watch.
David Mitchell also good on QI.
I'd say so. The
Yeah,
only
yeah.
people that there's a couple of people that shouldn't be on 8 out of 10 castles, Kent.
Are we going to go through this again?
Yes. Johnny Vegas. How is he popular? What's the deal?
I
Has
don't
he
like
been in
Johnny
any
Vegas.
action movies?
He's
I
got a good
apologise.
point. He's got a good point.
He's
we,
so
we
bad,
could
though.
talk about that. but,
Yeah.
you know.
Next week, question of the week. Why is Johnny Vegas still a thing? I think
Yeah,
that,
Replace Johnny Vegas with what's your man's name?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Joe Hutchinson, and you have my opinion on that, Joe.
I'm not going to even tell you his name.
Well-
the other hairy bloke that appears in that show quite a lot.
Jesus Christ.
Joe
Yeah.
Wilkerson.
Wilkinson, you
Yeah,
fucking
Wilkinson.
ass. Joe Wilkinson's hilarious.
Right.
Okay.
He's a good
through-
Joe.
Reading through some of the actual comments, and one thing I
Mhm.
found is the movies that we did love back in the day. So you look at Die Hard, you look at Lethal Weapon, you look at all the
Yeah.
ones. Do you ever notice that they really came back with really shit kind of sequels to try and counteract in the 2000s? Like
That's
that kind
that's movies in general,
like-
though, or well, a lot of
like,
the time.
oh, let's
anyway.
make a sixth one. Let's make a seventh one. The only one that really did well was stuff like Rambo, like John Rambo.
hmm
When
Did
Stallone
they?
did that,
Well,
that was vicious.
you could make the argument that
shit.
outside of the first Rambo film, the other Rambo film's not very good.
Also, never seen Rambo.
Have you ever seen Rambo?
No.
First one is a gritty psychological action film
He goes insane.
that like deals with
Is it good?
Vietnam veterans and like post-war like mental problems
Like
and
PTSD and
yeah.
stuff like that.
It's good bands.
First film is very good.
Yeah.
Very
I've never seen the rest, but I know that the third one he gets like dropped into Afghanistan as like a one-man army
Oh, Jesus.
when they were fighting the
pretty much, yeah.
Soviets.
He has one
So
gun,
it's just kind of like
never
sound-
reloads it.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Just
He
shoots
doesn't need
his
to
way.
reload it.
He just shoots a fuckload of
Yeah,
bullets into a
these
cave
guns
and
are
runs
idea.
away. It's great.
I do. I think I always preferred when action films were like one and done. Commando
unique.
was one and done.
Oh yeah,
Like Running Man was one and done.
It was
Arnie
Arnie's
is a
Arnie,
one and done
yeah,
man,
he's-
isn't he? Except for like
The
movie
conception of your
franchises.
child. Sorry, what were we talking about there?
Or even this week's film Predator had a whole bunch of sequels after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, Predator
That-
2, like, if we're going to talk about them as a thing, that kind of evolved. Predator 2 was nowhere near as good or
No.
anything like the original.
No,
It was Predator in a city,
Yeah.
and it just didn't.
It sounds interesting.
It was Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
where
pre-
Jurassic Park got the idea.
I
That
think
failed as well.
I think the premise was
I
interesting.
love Lost World.
For
I'm sorry.
years, I
Never seen
preferred
it.
the second.
Fantastic.
What?
Never seen the Lost
It is
World.
fantastic film.
Do
For
you know what?
someone who likes Jurassic Park as much as you do, I'm surprised you've never seen
Funnily
the
enough, like
second one.
that came out when I was 10 or 11 or something like that. And when I remember when I seen there's a sequel to Jurassic Park, I was like, what's the point? They did the first one perfectly. Like that first film was flawless. Like
Mhm.
there's no need for a sequel. I'm not watching this bullshit. So I just never bothered with it.
But where's Jurassic Park on the list?
We've talked about this and says the only reason we haven't done
It would be
it
about
yet.
6th or 7th.
No, we're not getting into this again. Or you know what? Fuck this. We need to write down. Will we watch
It would
Jurassic
certainly
Park?
be top
As a
10.
next week bad movie.
Oh.
I had a suggestion for, because I don't know if you remember, but our 100th episode is coming up soon. So
It
for
is?
3 episodes from now.
and we
So
haven't selected a film yet.
That's 98, 99. So our 100th film. Yeah, you're right.
It's unselected at the moment. I was going to suggest
What is
Clip
IMDb's 100
clip show. Can we do a clip show?
um,
episode? movie thing.
I
lost it.
should I reveal this now? Do you know?
You
Fuck
had
it.
a good train of thought there for a
did.
second.
I was going to wait to surprise you guys, but I'm in the midst
Oh.
of compiling a clip show.
Ooh.
So what I was, what I decided to. This
Wait.
is totally off topic, but
We've only filmed for how many episodes?
I don't. Well, it's an audio. It's
clip
an audio
show.
clip show.
Oh, well,
Okay.
So-
which will play fantastically on
Yeah.
the format that we can't feed the audio into.
Well, no, like it won't be. Oh shit!
I
How's
know.
that going to work with the video? Actually,
So considerate. And
well, no. What I
I'm not
was,
sitting here.
He's
and
doing
I
telling
thought
you
about this-
my secret location for the good of me fucking
I,
health.
I thought about this a lot. Okay, so what I
You're
was,
inside a mountain.
so what I was going to do was I'm in the midst of
Mount
compiling it,
Doom.
and I'm trying to take like a little bit from all 99 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Now I skipped a few because I've gone through.
Oh,
now,
obviously, there's some without me, so what's the point?
yeah, no, there's
He only
every
went as
point.
far as when you joined. Then he stopped.
yeah, it took me 10 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, the show attained perfection at the start, and then
Episodes 1 to 18. That's it. No, I'm
You
joking.
guys are shocking.
No, but so what I was going to do was I was
Was.
going to make a clip show of.
Love you guys. I'm sorry. Please don't.
I was going to make a clip show of episodes 1 to 99, and then make a clip show of that clip, or the clip thing of that clip show, and go through it with all 4 of us listening. I don't know if that would
you
work.
should have just
necessarily, but-
surprised us with this.
I know.
This is a surprise. This is new. This is
Why?
something.
As
Huh?
usual,
So it's
Aiden blows his
Ken
load early.
Clipception.
Ken
Yeah.
looks so confused right now.
So
So
people
you'd need to have
listen
headphones.
to us, listening to ourselves,
Yeah.
listening to us, bitch about listening to us.
Something like that, yeah. And I don't know if what's that?
The Inception song.
Oh, I've never seen Inception.
Oh, I was thinking it was the chamber thing from Lost.
It could
Yeah.
also be the chamber.
could
Isn't
be,
that like?
yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's the opening theme, isn't it?
That sounds like my computer shutting down.
They just stole it from.
We are
from
getting
Game
very
Film.
off the rails, and you'll eventually get to read some comments. Still.
Most of the comments was a great
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah, we'll talk about that
Everything
afterwards. But anyway,
Yeah, I think you had most of the comments memorized because the stuff that you started
Yeah.
off with was like, oh, that was that there. Like, I got into a discussion over, I love the film Olympus Has Fallen,
Mhm.
as Jared Butler has done a good few action
Die Hard
films.
4, you mean?
Die Hard 5.
Oh, sorry,
Um,
5.
And I got into an argument with one of the guys, Ian Winston, over it. And he was like, oh, Sarah was this, the way why it's down. I was like, hold the fucking phone. All right. If you ever watch what's Olympus Has Fallen, it's pretty much the plot line of Die Hard 1, but in the White House. And if you replace Jared Butler with Bruce Willis, it would be Die Hard.
Mhm.
you said this before,
Right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
What that movie was should have been Die Hard 5.
Right.
great
okay.
action. Like,
Did you say was should?
Well, shoulda, woulda,
That
coulda.
was
That's what it
shoulda
is.
been.
coulda.
there's one part in that film where
Tomato,
it reminds
potato.
me directly back to Die Hard, and it's where
He runs across a floor of broken glass.
he gets blood somewhere. His arm, isn't it?
Maybe.
He gets sharded.
It's
Anyway,
a lot of blood.
He sharts.
he has a mic and he's literally talking to the bad guy down below, and he does the exact same thing. He's like, "I'm coming to get you, asshole," and stuff. And I was like, "This is just Die Hard," but I wasn't saddened by that
Mhm.
because it actually turned out to be pretty good.
And then he kills
Now,
someone and row, ha ha ha, I have a water pistol on their chest.
There's
They should remake
the same
Die Hard.
year.
They shouldn't. They're
Don't
full.
you fuck? All right, fuck, Mick. No,
No.
no.
Now.
Mick, that is a disgrace to
Mm.
the good name of Die Hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It should never be remade, but we know it probably will eventually.
Any live comments?
Live
Very
comments
few.
on it.
7.
Sue Papino's mum says, "Happy New Year's, guys." Hi, Mick.
Hi.
Who's
Hi,
that?
Sue. That's
Who is it?
the lady what I used to work with.
Cool.
And
Adele says she's late
yeah.
to the
So you
party.
used to work with her and she
She's
said hello
late to
to
the
Mick.
party.
Well, she knows Mick as well. Cause
Oh, okay.
Just from me giving Mick
Oh, it's Susu.
Yeah, Susu. Yeah, that's her full name.
Susu, yeah.
How are you,
Jesus
Susu?
Christ. What did you miss, Adele?
No, she's late to the party.
Fuck all, to be honest with
Ah.
you. It's just
Really?
really only tuning in
It's
now.
the whole discussion. Like, pretty much we went through quite...
Yeah.
No, we're not going to recap.
Detailed filmography from 1968 to now.
I think we should definitely put like a stamp on how we feel in the end of this. So I think the modern look on what action film is now, I think it's still alive. I think it's really evolved into something different. I think there's still
Which is
some
fine.
actors that are keeping it alive. I
Mhm.
think Arnie and the rest of the old
Trying
fogies
to keep
are
themselves
Oh,
alive.
are having fun with it.
Yeah.
It has definitely morphed into several other genres, like the superhero genre that is
Huge one.
so prevalent now.
18 films in
Yeah.
10 years.
That's
Like,
just Marvel, though.
This is Marvel alone.
Like,
and they're
There's
all
DC,
action films.
There's
They know.
What?
You mentioned DC, just no.
Oh,
Yeah, they've
No.
but then you have like modern classics, like fucking the new Mad Max, like Fury Road.
that
is
was fucking dead.
again another balls to the wall 2-hour action film that doesn't stop. Like there's
no real storyline either, but it's great.
Mad Max.
The new Mad Max, there's fucking like nothing really happens.
All the
it's
fight in
amazing.
less than like 3 lines. It's like,
Yeah,
we've got to get out of here. Okay, we got out of there.
yeah.
Oh
We
fuck,
gotta
we
go
gotta go back. That's the whole of Fury
Yeah.
Road, and it's still a good film.
You can just watch that film with subtitles and just, we gotta get out of this place, just over and over again for 2 hours.
We gotta go back
again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have the same impact with that
Yeah.
over the top of it, but might be an
It's
interesting
so
watch.
true. Yeah, I agree. I think the modern ones are still just as good as the original.
Yeah.
Now, I think what's great about the action genre that was defined in the 80s by these absolute megastars of absolute steroid abuse was that we...
Those guys never took a steroid in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Look at them now.
What's wrong with
Juice.
What's wrong with my tits? They're sagging.
Why is my penis so small?
I think that decade had a great run, and I think that as an action decade was beautiful in its own way. Like it was
Like you
Yeah.
could
Unique.
apply the same thing to music as well, like with
It
classic
represents the
rock and stuff.
sensibilities of the time.
Yeah.
You could apply the same thing to classic rock. I mean, like when The Darkness came out, The Darkness are great crack, but that's like to me, that's kind of all they are. They're just great crack. Like they've that thing has been
you
done.
had your time.
Yeah, that thing's been done. Like when they gave it about grunge and stuff, I remember like Justin Hawkins saying, "Oh, we felt like we had to, start this band this way because grunge was out in the 90s and grunge was." He basically said grunge was shit. I'm just like, hold on a minute, you're bringing nothing new to the table. What the fuck are you on about?
He's
Like,
basically a modern glam rock band.
exactly.
That brought modern
He's also a dickhead.
rock.
Yeah, Greta Van Fleet, same
No,
thing. Have you heard
genuinely, I
them?
met him. He's a dickhead.
Is he?
Is he actually?
I'm not
Absolute
surprised after
arrogant
someone.
prick.
Yeah.
Are you
Have you-
talking about Faux Zeppelin?
Yeah, have you heard Faux Zeppelin? Greta
no.
Van Fleet? It's worth listening to that album because it's just like, I mean,
Have you heard any Led Zeppelin? Because if you have, you've heard all of these
Pretty
other
much.
band songs.
Well,
like you've been in bands.
I've heard about blimps.
You've you've been in bands. Have you been in bands, Joe?
Just jamming.
You've been in bands.
German.
Bands.
Few
But like,
I've done a few.
Jamming
but like,
bands.
if you're in a band and you're writing shit, you try and take as much influence from as many different places as possible. So hopefully you come up with something new. Greta Van Fleet didn't do that. They just listened to the Led Zeppelin's 8 albums. They're like, oh, that's us. Done. So don't bother the rest of them, Dave. I got this. It's worth listening to albums
So
just
that's
once.
what you
even.
think the 80s are really like. The 80s action films were really like them.
Well, not really. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, it's
That kind of come
my
and
point
gone.
is-
And let's evolve again.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
there's no harm. Like, it's if it's evolved and it's like we're still getting action films, but they've
Mhm.
evolved and they're all sort of we're getting action films, but then like in a different way and taking in other genres and stuff. That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
But
No.
and that's why it's kind of weird that we're getting so many remakes of action films from the
Yeah.
80s. Like, we got a RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
No, technically it's probably
Yeah.
90s or tail end of the 80s.
Didn't like it.
I think the only reason is because CGI is better now, and
Yeah.
it might look better in the
You got
looks
a
of a lot of them.
Yeah.
You got a
Destroying
you got a
it,
ro-
though.
you got a RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
You got a Total Recall remake.
Terrible.
Dread. Well, Dread was nice.
Dread
but
was
I get
good.
what you
But
mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the film we watched a few
Dread
months
was
ago?
But even that,
The-
they're rebooting stuff like, as you said, Rambo and
Yeah.
Rocky. Like, a lot of them are getting sequels.
Rocky's
Or
done.
even-
Creed is continuing
Yeah,
on. the
Creed.
thing.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. You keep the franchise. 2, Sylvester can't do it, obviously. So it's one of those roles that you kind of have to be a younger
But
man to do.
You
even,
can't even
like-
say Adrian anymore. Like,
No. So
But how many
like-
times?
steroids fucked up my speech,
How many?
It's
like,
great.
How
It's
many
great.
different Predator films have we had?
Like
Like
we've
4.
had 2 remakes. Or so
There's
There's
4.
Predator, Predator 2. There's
Predator 3.
Predator,
Predators.
And then
Predators,
the
and then
Predator.
the Predator.
That's 4.
So
But there's also
AVP.
Alien versus Predator, Alien
Oh,
versus
sorry.
Predator, Requiem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of them.
the last 2
Requiem for
Predators
a
have
Dream.
been reboots.
Yeah.
In less than 10 years. 2
Yeah.
reboots
And
of
it's
Predator.
mad.
It's failing because it's.
just
I haven't seen the latest Predator.
I have
Don't get me
not
wrong,
yet
I've
either.
heard actually a few good things about it.
I've
So
heard nothing
I'm
good
gonna
about
have to
it.
watch it.
Shane Black directed it, so there's that.
Yeah,
And he wrote it as
exactly. Which
As
is
we
the
discussed
guy.
in part 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. As we did.
What are they like? My thing with remakes is always the same thing. Like, just take an idea that was good, but just execute it badly. Like, They Live, remake that shit. Go right ahead. Like, there was some good bits in that, but that like that's.
So
But,
like what the
They better
Darkness
keep
done.
the 10-minute fight scene in.
yeah, just open with that.
10-minute fight scene. Just open
Yeah.
that. Actually, that's all we made.
That's the after credits thing. So they do the whole movie, people sitting there being like, where the fuck was the fight scene?
Yeah.
25 minutes of trailers, and they're like, and this is the fight scene. It's like 30 seconds long.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The extended 15-minute fight scene. Yay!
Cheers from the cinema.
Like the cinema staff are like, no, sit back down. We're not going to
Trust
clean
me,
up.
yeah, you want to stay. Does that do it for us?
I think so. I think that
Does it
felt
for
like a
me.
really good discussion. I really had fun with that one. So in the end, with that question, I don't think
Doesn't
it's
even matter.
dead. My comment is, I don't think it's dead. I think it's evolved
Yeah.
into something.
Yeah,
that,
I
not
guess
bad. I
the
think something good.
the exact formula of film that was in the 80s, obviously, is not as popular anymore.
Well, it was acceptable in the 80s. I should really stop making
Shut
music
up,
references.
Calvin Harris.
He's done anyway. Mick is
Calvin
done.
Yeah,
with
I'm
your shit
done.
right
I'm
now.
not even going to sign off the podcast.
No, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. Say keep on.
Keep on.
No! Whoa, hey,
We've got
whoa, whoa.
loads of stuff to do before that. Okay, so episode 98 next week. It's
Yes.
our first in a while bad film week.
Yeah.
Joe
Really,
is so
really
happy
not
for
looking
some
forward
reason.
to it.
I am so happy and so
Joe,
sad.
tell us about the film we're going to be watching next week.
From
Have you
what
seen it?
No, and I
No.
refuse to watch even the trailers because I've literally seen 3 or 4 pictures.
I have seen a single screenshot, and it's a guy who kind of looks like Gandalf sitting with a guy who looks like he belongs in an office
Do you know
at
what
the side of the road,
from what I
like
can
in the middle
see,
of a forest.
it was fully filmed in Trim, County Meath.
Okay.
And it was produced in 98. It's put down as an epic Irish martial arts movie filmed completely by travellers.
Yeah, a friend of mine's been actually
I did
saying
not
this to me.
know the second part that you said it was filmed completely by travelers.
Wait,
I didn't know that part.
are we watching
That's
again?
what is-
Fatal Deviation.
Unless it's someone's review of it saying it looks like it was done by travellers.
Oh, right. Well, a friend of mine has actually mentioned
Leo
mentioned it
Varadkar's
to do
review
to.
of it.
Should I
No,
watch the trailer? Should we?
No.
No.
A friend of mine told me to watch. Has been telling me to watch it like many times now at this stage. It's like because you do bad movies. I'll watch this. Watch Fatal Deviation. Fatal Deviation. Anytime I've asked
You
like
do.
for a suggestion.
What was our last bad film?
Oh, I can't remember.
They live.
Borat? Was it? Was it Borat?
It wasn't.
We
It obviously
didn't
wasn't
choose
Borat.
that as a bad movie. It just happened to be.
They Live? Was it really They Live?
No, it wasn't.
No.
They
They
Live.
Live
No, that
also
was.
wasn't a bad.
No,
film.
we were hoping that it'd
No.
be good because of
Yeah.
Rowdy Piper being
God,
in
it ended up seeming so
it.
bad.
But I had to check the list. I can't remember.
It might have been.
I don't think we've done one in
Chun-Li,
this
Legend
year.
of Chun-Li.
Oh, there's no way. That was like 20 episodes ago. Would
I
it be
don't
that
think
one?
we've
I don't
done one.
We haven't done one since before season 3.
Oh, because we had Preacher come back
This is
in
our
the
first
summer.
one.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
And
I don't
then
think
when
I've
Preacher
been
finished,
here.
we went into Halloween.
I would have thought it would have been the very Harold and Kumar Christmas one, but I tell you, that ended up being...
That was
Yeah.
probably the best one I've watched this year.
Oh.
You are all welcome. That was my gift to you.
Okay, so it's Fatal Deviation.
Okay.
It sounds like
Is
a
the film?
sex tape.
Yeah, and then Blur, and then maybe for episode 100, we
Deviated
just
set.
we just do the clip show for the first
Shoot the
part
shit
of,
for the 100th episode.
and then like I don't know if we want to do a question.
So can
of the
we
week
all
or-
just like take a break for the 100 episodes and flop it and just give people what they've heard already?
I'll record a 10-second
We'll get like
just relaxation music.
loads of banners and all, and like
party
fireworks,
hats? No, I
party
think we
hats.
should. I like my idea
Fuck
was
you, Edel. No, Short Circuit was not the bad film.
Oh, hold on here for a
No,
second for the
no,
minute.
no. It was not. No. Hell no.
Aiden,
No.
yeah.
people want to get in contact with us. How do they reach us?
You can reach us by reach around. No, you can reach us by emailing preachinonpreacher@gmail.com, even though nobody ever does. You can find us on Twitter @preachinpod, Facebook, just search for Preachin on Preacher. You'll find us there. You listen to all back episodes on preachinonpreacher.com, on Spotify, on Mixcloud, and on YouTube. And you can also get the RSS feed from preachinonpreacher.com and lash it into user podcasting app of choice.
Lovely.
Why does that never get old?
That's never getting old. I didn't even expect it.
I'm going to mute him next week, so it's fine.
No, I don't. do
Oh.
that.
Wait,
All
what?
right, so that's going to do us for this week, gentlemen.
It is.
It's been real. It's been
Yeah,
it's been
good.
a while. I'll talk to you guys next week. Yeah.
We should say
Yeah.
we may not have an episode next week,
Sorry, the week after next.
depending
Possibly,
on
yeah.
Possibly, because
situations. So yeah,
Ken's a nerd.
fucking nerd.
I have a job to keep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'll
Alright.
see you guys next week. Or the week after, sorry. Keep on preaching.